Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Frame Advantage Level 4A2's Fighting Game Podcast. It is February 23rd, 2017. I'm your host, the White Mage of Level 4A2 Gaming, V, and I'm joined by the Doza?
Oh,
is that Bob Doza? The Barraza man?
Yes, it's me, Doza. Hello, how are you? God.
And the big boss is Saken.
Yo.
And Master Steph.
That's Master Steve.
Master Steve.
And Arcadia could not come out to join us this time, but once again we have 4A2's Van?
That's fine.
I
I don't even care anymore. 4A2 Van.
I don't know what to call you,
Is
man.
it Van, Vandalized, Minivan, Van Damage, Van
Mr.
Voltage,
Fox.
Mr. Fox, Mellow Yellow?
I'm still waiting for the inevitable Van vocals. So
Van.
I mean, I'm still waiting for the
That's what
Invisible
his mixtape
Iron
is
Van.
called.
Personally.
Iron Van.
I'm surprised the Invisible Iron Van hasn't been one yet.
A lot of tags. I don't know, I used that as CEO one
Oh, did you? Oh, never mind. There we go.
And in the audience we have BR's Bad Decisions and Robbie B.
What up?
Welcome to the show, guys. Alright, this time around we actually have a fully organized podcast. I actually have some actual segments for everyone to actually just go through and talk about stuff. So, as usual, we're going to start with the intro question. I got something pretty good for you guys. What's y'all's favorite fighting game story?
You mean to tell me fighting games have stories?
Yes,
Why do you
they
always
do.
look at me like that?
Some of them are pretty long.
Why do you say fighting game story then look at me? I thought Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had a great story. Galactus was trying to destroy the planets, and he had some weird silver heralds, that was like Wesker and Dormammu almost every time. No, it's Magneto, Akuma, like Magneto maybe a couple of times, yeah. Great story.
Yo, what about that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite story, though? I think that's gonna be pretty lit.
I mean,
Maybe.
maybe.
It's supposed to be a fully interactive animated story.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're actually putting work into the story this time.
Do you know what wasn't lit? Street Fighter 5 story.
Yeah.
What are you talking? Yo, that story was
I don't know. Nash done all the teleport.
I mean, like, I was impressed with how much effort they put into it, but I guess, or I was
I
impressed.
mean, it is chapter based,
Yeah.
so we're gonna get the next chapter this year.
Like, yeah, no, I mean, I was impressed that they even tried, essentially. That is a mark of improvement in my mind, and hopefully the stories. Will
You
just
didn't
keep
like
getting
Peter
better.
the cop?
He was on, Capcom loves their troll characters. Thank you.
Peter was not a troll character.
Oh my
Excuse
God.
me?
Oh my god. Do you get out of here?
Wait, you disrespected Peter too, my man?
I mean, yes.
Rest in peace, Peter the Cop.
I mean, he died, so there's nothing to say.
He died and went to Marvel Infinite. He's gonna show up in Marvel
Oh,
Infinite.
if he actually shows up in
I would
Marvel
not be
Infinite-
surprised if there's like a Peter the Cop like alt costume.
If he actually shows up in Marvel Infinite, I might be upset.
It's gonna be a Spencer alternate costume. His taunt's gonna take out a handgun. He's gonna put it back away.
Okay, so I think we tangented a little bit. So the question at hand is, what is our favorite fighting game story? And I think I already know what most of you are going to say. So why don't you go ahead and start?
No, see, I'm not gonna be obvious this time. I'm gonna switch it up because obviously you want me to say Blaze Blue. And that'd be
I don't
too
want
easy.
you to say that. I just know that that's what you're gonna say.
Just say it.
That'd be too easy.
Just say it.
You guys are gonna say Blaze Blue anyway to get some.
I wasn't
not gonna say
actually.
Blaze
Oh.
Blue. I don't hate Blaze Blue story.
Oh.
It's way too confusing.
Well, I gotta say,
I'll
We're
tell
about to
you.
get kicked
I'll tell
out of
you.
4A2.
I'll tell you myself. I actually hate Blaze Blue story.
Dang.
Alright.
But y'all know the most about it.
Yes, that's why I hate
fine
it.
I'm stuck.
I mean, I liked it.
It's a vortex.
So, Big Boss, you go first. Then.
Nah, bro. I told you to go first.
Glenn, go.
Okay,
Alright.
I'll go.
Doza, go first.
So, my favorite two fighting game stories were the NRS games, Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat, and Injustice. I like the whole fallen hero thing.
That's actually what I was gonna say. But
Yeah.
With the, I like Superman turning evil. I like the whole Liu Kang, Katana.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I forget. Oh no, what's the spinning hat dude?
Kung Lao.
Kung
Kung
Lao.
Lao.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Spinning hat dude.
Apologies to all you MKX players out
Sorry,
there.
guys.
Young Glenn can't even drink yet.
It's been a long day.
That you slept.
But yeah, you know, I like the whole fallen hero story.
Yeah,
You know, those are my favorite.
And Injustice was a pretty good story.
I will say for sure, yeah. Mad props to NRS. I mean, obviously with Injustice, they got a lot of help from DC. You know, as far as the direction that story went, but it was a very definitely. I am the most impressed story wise with Injustice.
Yeah, I was also gonna say Injustice actually.
Me too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dang,
But
dang,
I have
lot of
a backup.
Injustice flick.
I also have a backup. Mine's called Blaze Blue.
Yeah. So I'd say that my favorite probably is the Injustice storyline. Okay, the Injustice plot because it's like a real story, right? It's not like it doesn't feel like fabricated. I mean, there's a lot of intense moments, and it was really good. I will give honorable mention to the Guilty Gear Xrd and Revelator stories because I didn't have to play them. The first video game story mode that I've seen where I don't actually have to pick up a controller. Yeah, as I can just watch these episodes or not watch them, and I don't have to do anything. It's pretty good. So.
That's pretty good, yeah. I was also going to say the Injustice franchise because Injustice was a really good story. I watched the entire movie with Jerry. We watched at a friend's house. It was pretty fun. I didn't want to pick up the controller. I just wanted to watch the events unfold because, as Glenn said, the whole fallen hero archetype. You know, that's how you make Superman an interesting character. You make him evil. He's boring as a hero.
Let's not delve too deeply into comic book storylines.
You're right.
There's a lot of Superman stories.
Different podcasts for a different time. You're right. I'm sorry. But anyway, but of course, since no one else said it, I guess I gotta go. Blaze Blue, probably my favorite story of all time. I just like the characters a lot. I like the setting. Even if it's confusing as hell and doesn't make sense half the time, I still enjoy the interactions between the characters and watching everything unfold. Honorable mention, of course, the MK9 and X, but I just didn't like 9's ending because I felt like it wasn't. I'll get that later. Anyway, that's my spiel.
So let me ask you. You know, since this topic seems like it's wrapping up a little bit before Jerry's talks, who is story-wise? Who is your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Story-wise?
Yeah. Because I think they're all kind of bad.
Yeah, they are all kind of I guess, in the story, my favorite would probably be Sub-Zero.
Story-wise?
Yeah, as in Sub-Zero,
Because you're a big weeb? So,
No.
He has the most weeaboo storyline, right? I mean, it's clans, right? He's a part of some ice clan.
Well,
he's fighting Scorpion Clan.
Well, specifically Tundra, the Sub-Zero. That's the second one because the first one died to Scorpion.
Yeah.
So his little brother, I feel has one of the more interesting stories in the lore.
And that is
it's he has this. No, he has this revenge story. Okay, so of course they have the clan war between the Lin Kuei and the Shirai Ryu.
You actually know the names.
Yeah, I've played the games, Jerry. So I pay attention to a story I'm watching. But you have this clan war going on. But the thing between Tundra and Scorpion isn't clan versus clan. It's hey, you killed my brother. I want personal revenge on you. Because Scorpion could have chose just to not to. Because the entire thing was he wasn't going to kill Sub-Zero originally anyway, but he was tricked by...
Yeah, I thought the Shirai Ryu were all they were all mind controlled or something dumb.
Yeah, which I think, Scorpion's story is also equally, I feel like their dynamic is what makes this, their story work really well.
It is.
I feel like every other character is kind of boring.
It is very easily the most Asian storyline in the MK universe.
Because,
I mean, they're ninjas.
Yeah. I mean, because all the other stories are okay, Liu Kang, you're chosen to be a hero, go punch stuff. Johnny Cage, you're a movie star, go punch stuff. Sonya Blade, you're a military worker, go punch stuff.
Yeah.
They don't really have very motivations besides saving the world, which I guess is a pretty big one in that regard.
Yeah, but I mean, it's almost cliched.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm gonna save the world.
You're kind of forced into it kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm Johnny Cage's daughter. I'm gonna go save the world. Be part of an elite task force formed from the children of superheroes.
To go save the world. Yeah, that's why Sub-Zero and subsequently Scorpion are my favorite storylines in MKX's overarching story.
Okay, I can see that. They probably spent the most time on those.
Yeah.
Those two, with the cyborgs and stuff too, coming in. Yeah, okay. All right, Jarius.
Alright, favorite story. Oh, my favorite story is probably Hitman Reborn. Oh wait, that's not a fighting game. Actually, it does have a fighting
There's
game.
a Capcom fighting game for Hitman Reborn.
You're right. But that's beside the point. Modern fighting games. Probably my favorite story that isn't something that has been mentioned. I'm gonna have to say it's vanilla Persona 4 Arena.
So Persona 4.
That one was really good.
Persona
No,
4
you mean the actual story?
Persona 4
like
Part 2.
Persona
The
4
story in the game?
Yeah, Persona
Yeah.
4 Arena is actually a sequel, story-wise.
Yeah.
To Persona
I
4.
played the story mode, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was really good. I liked
It was very good. It got you in the feels.
It
It
did.
had good character development. You know, some characters, kind of got comfortable, and then, Shadows came back and they had to refine themselves.
See, I couldn't connect. I also played through the story mode, but I couldn't connect to it as well, because I hadn't played Persona 4 before I played Persona 4 Arena.
Neither had I.
I mean, I just didn't. So I didn't connect to the characters. Like there was obvious dialogue and insinuations to things that happened in the regular game. That I just didn't get because I didn't play it.
Like, obviously, characters have formed bonds, and you don't understand why they're so close or why they hate each other. Kind of.
Yeah. But I can agree though. I mean,
But not to mention, who doesn't love a story with a character voiced by Johnny Young Pop?
And the truth comes out.
This man loves that voice.
shout
actor,
outs,
man.
Johnny Young Bosch. You always voice broken characters.
I mean, why didn't you like MKX's story? Then?
I mean, I did,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Was it Kung Jin?
Kung Jin. I
Yeah.
played Kung Jin.
He was also quote unquote broken at the
In
beginning.
the beginning.
I mean, he wasn't
so many
actually
ground
broken.
bounces, man.
But MK players got they neutral put on notice because it was a little suspect.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright.
So they ended up nerfing his neutral.
Alright, so I think the only person that hasn't gone yet is V.
that would be me. And of course, my favorite is going to be Blaze Blue because for all the reasons Stefan already said, it's all the characters are really interesting. The story with time itself is actually pretty interesting, and the setting is good. And it also hits you in the feels, especially with a couple of characters.
Did it? I never felt that way.
I mean, I always felt it.
Did I feel that way?
Yes, you did.
Did I?
But
I mean, the only feeling I felt was hatred at the end of Chrono Phantasma.
dang, I'm sorry. But another story that I thought was really cool, especially since you could play it alongside a buddy, was Super Smash Bros. Brawl's Subspace
I
Emissary.
forgot about Brawl. Subspace Emissary was
It was
godlike.
actually really good.
Probably the best part about Bro.
With no dialogue.
With no dialogue.
Yeah, there was no dialogue in
I
it
forgot.
whatsoever.
Subspace Emissary was actually godlike.
I mean, they did tell a pretty good story with no dialogue.
I think the only words said were by Captain Falcon. It was come on.
No. And Snake was kept you waiting, huh? That was only dialogue.
It was really cool seeing all those Nintendo characters just interacting with each other to towards a common goal, especially towards the end.
My
The
favorite
only thing
part,
I didn't like about it was Sonic just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It's where were you this entire time, man? Fastest thing alive, and yet you're late to the party.
Man, that's a joke.
haha. Yeah, my favorite part was when Marth and Meta Knight were fighting, and then they got surrounded by the monster things, and then they kept fighting and ended up slashing the monsters instead of each other, and then they were back to back, slicing and dicing. It's godlike.
And then Ike shows
And then
up.
Ike shows up with the 8 there.
Alright, so we have 8-year-old Jarius here.
Was I 8? I'm pretty sure it was
Man, that sounds
12.
pretty high.
12 at the time.
Subspace Emissary was really cool.
Alright.
But yeah. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get to the main topic of today's podcast.
Get it on, select and make your first pick. Get it on, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on, choose and pick the best one. Get it on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that is talking about our expectations for the upcoming Street Fighter V patch. So, what's everyone looking for, y'all?
That's how Glenn feels about it. He just said, just took a
He
nap.
just yawns.
Young Goza takes a nap during this portion.
That was not intentional.
Wake me up when you're done.
Wake me up when Nash is good again.
Yeah. Please.
That would be one thing that I would hope would change about it.
I will be honest, I don't think that they're going to change a whole lot.
Yeah, me neither.
Like,
It's only small.
Like I know that people are hoping for like big changes and stuff, but I really don't think that they're looking to change the game in a very major way. I mean, especially nothing as big as the patch that they released to begin with. So it probably will be maybe a minor system change, though I doubt it. But potentially a minor system change, and then maybe a few tweaks to a handful of characters. I don't even think that they're going to touch every character in the cast. You know,
Yeah.
It's probably just going to be, hey, we're gonna touch up a little bit of the frame data of some of the more oppressive characters right now, and then maybe touch up some of the frame data of the bottom characters a little bit. So to further that discussion, I guess we'll look at what you think the top characters that they're going to tweak are.
I definitely think they are going to, at worst, undo Urian's low forward change. Instead of being +2. I get why they made it +2 because his stand medium punch probably wouldn't function very well. Or he'd get nothing from it if it was no longer... If they didn't buff it, because they nerfed his stand medium punch to be 7 frames.
From 6 to 7, right?
Yeah. So
But
that
it's
was
still
one
only
of-
+3?
Huh?
But it's still only +3 on block?
I think it's +2 on block.
It was +3 on block before, I thought.
I can check that.
But low forward in the V trigger though.
I mean, that
That's still
was
gonna
always
work.
a thing.
Yeah, low forward and V trigger is always going to work.
But now they have to hold it even more.
No, like that does not change anything about that situation functionally whatsoever.
So like what was low forward before? Maybe it was 0.
No, it was -1.
It's -1.
I think they'll make it 0. Oh,
Maybe.
-2. Okay.
Make it 0 then?
I think they're gonna make it 0.
Yeah. I can see it. I mean, I can see that. Like, so if you hit with low forward, can you combo off of it
Right now, yes, after the buff.
after the buff?
Beforehand, you couldn't, I believe.
Okay. So I mean,
Well, you have to be like pretty much in jab range
Yeah.
because he can only combo jab after.
right. So it's exactly like +4 and hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, like, I don't know. I could see a situation where they affect the block data, but not necessarily the hit data, just so that he still gains access to combos. Like so if he catches you walking back, he can still combo, right? From hitting you low, but it's not just like the catch-all kind of pressure tool that he has.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's a 5 frame gap between low forward and stand medium punch right now.
Yeah.
But it still catches jabs due to spacing, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the range of that button, even before when it was -2, I mean, it was insanely hard to get any pressure off of it.
Yeah.
Because they can just hit you at the tip of the range, and you can't really apply much pressure without running into other buttons.
It's more like a poke than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda
And
like
that's
Vegas.
kind of the main reason I didn't think it being +2 was such a big deal. But, you know, when I make somebody block it at point blank, I'm like, haha, you can't hit anything.
I mean, that's fine. It's like Vegas crouch medium kick.
I mean, like,
Except,
I have a command grab.
oh, you're right. So maybe they won't change it.
Yeah, like
By that argument.
I personally don't feel like that crouch medium kick is like what people.
I think what needs to be altered, though, is because people get away with it so much, they should probably still do something to make headbutt on whiff easier to punish.
Yeah, that's
added
like
recovery.
add more recovery or something.
But then that will affect its block/hit advantage.
I mean, they can keep that the same, honestly. Just like add more block stuns or block and hit stuns so that it's the same. I don't know if they're going to change that either, because I think one of the main draws of playing Urian is that he has really cool movement options, right? Like all the corner switch combos and that.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to want to take that out of the game.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're playing, you should be like, I don't know if the patch is supposed to be targeted towards like, oh, let's make this game easy, like, you know, like let's make it easier for casuals to be able to deal with this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? Like if you're a savvy player, then you should be able to
Deal with it.
deal with the headbutt that whips right in your face.
I mean, I'm just kind of thinking like,
yeah.
like honestly, I feel like there's nothing innately ridiculous about him. Like as what his tools can do, like normally. Where the ridiculousness comes in is the situations he can force with his mix-ups.
Yeah.
When he sets you up properly, but those were in the game before the patch. Like
Right.
the issues people have with Irian were a thing before the patch. Now the only thing I did think they added that caused them to be more of a problem is the extra juggle point.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like he definitely gets a lot more reward off of certain hits. Oh, and they made his crutch heavy punch faster, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they made it a frame faster.
He can combo that thing
Is
off
it
of
one frame or
anything
two?
now.
It was 9 frames before. It's 8 frames now, I think.
So you can like combo that thing off of any like the way that he can combo off of it now just seems way more than it was before.
Yeah, because they added more juggle points to it.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I mean, people like that flashy stuff too.
Also, if they did change one thing, one nerf, just so people will stop complaining, is make EX shoulder -2. Go ahead. Why not? It won't effectively change the situation versus people with 3-frame jabs.
Bad decisions, just snickering over there.
Yeah.
Giving you the death glare.
But no, okay, so
I mean, you have something to add? I feel like you have something to say in this regard.
Urian had trouble getting in.
So they decided to make EX shoulder +1 on block.
Takedo decided that Urian had bad neutral. So, yeah. I'm glad that shoulder's not plus on block.
God.
Very, very glad.
that would be actually terrible.
I'd have to play Urian.
But so no, so personally, I feel that, and this is, I don't really feel like this will happen, but I'm saying this more to give a counterpoint. But I personally feel that they won't change the current problem characters as more as maybe adjust some of the weaker characters.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what they
that's
should do.
optimally that's what should be done.
Instead of just nerfing things across the board. Because if you can nerf the problem characters down more, but that won't change the innate problem people are having with the game right now.
And that's other characters that suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like every Alex player, like Van, was just
I mean, you know,
heartbroken.
a little bit, yeah.
I think the only nerf that I would change, like the only nerf that I would like put on the game would be like to Balrog's damage. That would be it.
Yeah. Balrog
Balrog does way too much damage.
I don't think a whole lot needs to change about Balrog except for maybe just a very slight damage nerf.
Like
Like-
5%.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
all of the current problem characters aren't really problems. It's more that people let them get away with too much stuff. Like if you're playing against a Laura player, Laura still has to get in on you. Like that doesn't change. Anytime I watch someone get hit by a Laura player, I'm never like, or like the first hit, I'm never like that's never like the Laura player outplaying them. That's just them not reacting to the situation properly or something like that, you know? Like how, like James, for example, at Nola Gaming Fest kept just letting Brian just V-skill dash in after negative block stuff and go into command grab. That's like a negative like 10 gap or something like that.
Yeah.
Or how like Balrogs, you might feel frustrated getting hit by a straight from like across the screen, but I mean,
I can agree with that heavily. Typically, I feel like whenever new characters get released or a game is new, offense usually is superior because the person who is doing the offense doesn't necessarily have to react to situations, right? They're just creating the offense, and so very heavy mix-up heavy comeback mix-up characters like Urian, Laura, and in a lot of respects Balrog, people have a lot of trouble with, and so people tend to cry wolf very early on, right? I mean, you see the same problem with like vanilla X Factor 3 Wesker or like just no, we don't know what to do about it, so it must be broken. Turns out that as a game develops and you play it longer, you learn how to block against this kind of stuff. Like right now, there is like videos and resources out there of how to deal with Laura mix-ups, right? But it's just like nobody has really internalized them enough to really take advantage of it and like understands the matchup enough. And I think that you will probably see that kind of effectiveness at a top level, right? But most of the people complaining about the game are not top players, right? Most of the people complaining about the game are high mid players and lower, right? Because I guess maybe we're still behind the curve as far as learning that kind of thing. So I think that once we understand a little bit better, I mean, yeah, the kind of situations that Laura and Urien can force you into is really rough. But play Marvel 3 for a little while, and
it won't seem quite as rough anymore.
You'll understand rough situations.
I mean, and by that logic too, it also can put top player opinions in more perspective, because a lot of people sometimes will have issues. Like, they'll hear an opinion from a top player and they'll be like, I don't really agree with that. I don't see it. Like somebody might be like, oh, I don't think Laura's broken, and a more casual player would be like, he's dumb. I don't care if he won Evo before. He's obviously an idiot, because I feel like Laura right now is broken. But if you look at it in perspective to where, if you take everything into consideration and see what Laura does as a character, and then compare that to someone else, then it might help you realize that, oh, maybe, just be more open-minded more.
Yeah.
Don't automatically assume something's broken because you're frustrated with it, and then just be like, oh, it's broken.
So recently, Tokido had talked about how he didn't think that Urien was top tier because his neutral is weak and it's hard for him to get in without taking a risk. Some people might disregard this because of their experience of playing against Urien. I personally respect Takedo's opinion, not only because I respect Takedo very strongly as a player. I know that he didn't do super well at the recent Topanga League stuff.
He did okay, but he didn't do great.
Yeah.
Went
you know,
0-2 at Capcom
It went 0-2 at Capcom
boys.
Cup. But I mean,
Lost to a Vega.
But like, that doesn't...
I mean, statistically speaking, historically, he is a phenomenal player.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't discount, like, decades of him performing very well.
Every top player's had an off time.
Yeah,
It can't be perfect forever.
It doesn't discount him having years and years of experience of performing well at multiple games. And another reason why I respect his opinion, particularly in this matter, is because he's not... Because he played Urien for a season, right? Like, he played Urien online for a while because he was trying to figure out who he wanted to main, right? And so he has practical Urien experience, whereas a lot of people complaining about Urien has never played as Urien, right? Like, or they just see Urien being played without having filled those shoes themselves. So I mean, obviously, from my perspective, and not from a top player perspective, I can be like, man, dealing with Urien is really tough, because I don't see the same things that Takedo sees whenever he's playing the match, but, like, I'm also playing Alex, so maybe that has something to do with it. because if you read the translation, Takedo is specifically talking about, like, after he talks about Urien's neutral being weak, he talks about how it relates.
Akuma.
Yeah, how it relates with Akuma, because Akuma has fast walk speeds and
Projectiles.
Projectiles. So Urien has to take a risk to get in. So if he just plays like super solid, he can deal with it. Right. So that's kind of where that's at. I don't know what else. I don't know what they could possibly touch up about Laura. I mean, Laura.
I feel like she's in a good spot because
Yeah.
in season 1 she had some quality of life changes she really needed.
Yeah.
And they gave them to her.
And now she's good.
And now she's just a really good fleshed out character.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
I
can
mean,
agree with that.
I would not want to see any of that taken away. I want to see things that bring that to other characters.
Okay, so let's talk about what they can change about, I guess, who's considered more at the bottom right now. So, probably at the bottom of everybody's tier list is Fong, Alex, and Dulcim to some degree.
Yeah.
Is usually, like, in the bottom.
I mean, Vega's usually down there, too.
Vega is usually down there.
A lot of people are saying Ryu sucks now, too.
People are saying Ryu's like one of the worst now.
Yeah. What did they change about him that makes him so bad
They
now?
took away, like, some of his frame advantage, like, a little bit, right?
Took away a lot of it. Like,
Throw
they
loops,
took away some
frame
frame advantage on
advantage.
a lot of his moves.
And he does, like, less damage now.
And he doesn't. Yeah,
I mean,
he
he still
I
does
feel
less
like
damage.
comparable
the
damage.
core. I feel like the core issue. Like
And the
I feel like all they really
DP's
need
gone.
to do. One thing I would love to see come back is invincible reversals, at least for the Shotos.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it made sense for them to take it away
because
universally.
I honestly feel like that's the only thing that's really holding
I
Ryu
feel like
back.
that's kind of
Because Ryu, if you think about Ryu as a character, you think about Hadokens, Hurricane Kicks, and Shoryukens, right?
Like-
so they took away Shoryukens. Now he has one less option than he used to have as a
like.
character.
I think they need to take away, or not take away.
Shoot,
They need
even
to.
some of his
they
win
need
quotes
to
are
buff.
like, "You must defeat my Shoryuken to stand a chance."
They need to buff Shoryuken or give it.
Just
If they reverted the nerf on Shoryuken and they buffed his fireball to be slightly better on recovery, like let Ryu be the Shoto that can play a fireball game. Like he's a fireball at this point in the game is kind of like a slow poke that has range at this point.
I mean, it was very...
Unless you have a Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really think that the recovery on his fireball is bad currently. I think it's fine where it is.
Well,
it's
I
pretty
think it's
bad.
the fact. I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, but I think it's really the fact that he doesn't have an invincible DP thrown on top of that. So if someone jumps over your fireball, season 1, you could probably get a DP out after it and punish the jump. But
But now you have to run the risk of it getting stuffed if you're too slow.
exactly.
Yeah, so just revert to like honestly, even though I am a Vega player and I much appreciate people not having invincible reversals because I can just do whatever I want to when I wake up with my 1,000,000+ frame buttons, but I do feel that
It seems weird.
it's weird. Yeah,
It feels weird.
Like as much as I hate DPs or for the unfamiliar dragon punches in fighting games, there are crux of fighting games you just deal with. Like this is a part of the game.
But I guess maybe they felt like it wouldn't be that serious of a change because I think this is one of the few like Street Fighter games where a very, very small section of the cast actually has meterless reversals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think in previous Street Fighter games, I mean, a lot of characters had it was a main aspect of the game, right? A lot of characters had meterless reversals, and it was very clear. I mean, like none of the DLC characters had meterless reversals, right, from season 1.
Yeah.
Right, and like so far, not in season 2 either, but obviously because of the universal change. But it seemed like they were kind of trying to really limit the amount of meterless reversals anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like only like 6 members in the cast actually has a meterless reversal from season 1 or something like that. It was like, yeah,
Cammy,
Ryu, Kami, Ken,
Nakali.
and Akuma. Is that it? Just 5?
well, I mean, Akuma was season 2, and
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, from
but
season 1.
if we're just saying if that
If it
wasn't
never
a
happened,
thing.
that would be all the characters.
yeah. So
there were only 4.
So the nerf only affected a very small number of characters, and for Cammy, I feel like they gave her they didn't nerf really any other aspect about her besides her meterless reversal and her dive kick, and they kept everything else intact, and that was enough
And
for
they
her
even
to
buffed some of it.
buff some, and that was enough to keep her solid.
Yeah.
But they didn't give that same treatment to
Ryu or Ken.
to Ryu or Ken. Nakali's still really
actually,
solid. So.
I won't say they didn't give it to Ken. They gave Ken a lot in other areas. Like, Ken's mid-range game got tremendously buffed. His damage conversion from a max range crouch medium or stand medium punch now, or even using the medium kick target combo at a mid-range are all now really strong, viable options that give him corner carry and damage. Not to mention give him the ability to kill you off of an overhead, something most characters can't do.
It's really cool too. He, I guess our resident now moved away Ken player seems to think that he is not as good as he was in season 1.
I prefer season 2 Ken much more than season 1 Ken.
I can agree with that. I mean, his neutral is harder, but he has interesting tools in different aspects.
I don't feel like his neutral's harder. I feel like you can't force your turn by doing dive kick.
Yeah, you don't get free get-ins.
But that's not neutral in the first place.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I feel like they made his neutral better. His pressure got.
Well, one of his main counter poke buttons they made slower too, like his back medium punch. Like,
I guess.
Like he used to use back medium punch to punish a lot more stuff.
Okay.
But now that it's 5 frames, it doesn't punish as many things anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So like that hurts him a little bit too.
I mean, but if you look at it that way, that doesn't really affect him in the grand scheme of things, since everybody overall got button nerfs in that regard.
Not everybody.
Almost everybody.
In some so most characters got their poke buttons nerfed, not their punish buttons nerfed. Right? So like most people got their long range poke buttons slower. But like Ken's back medium punch is really short. It's like a really short range, and it was very strong because it was, I think, at 4 frames. At 4 frames, the fastest medium attack in the game, so it could beat out weird.
But that was kind of the issue, was that it could do that, and it really shouldn't have done that in the first place.
I guess so. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Because Ken was one of the highest raw damage output characters
Yeah.
in that regard. And you're gonna give him a 4-frame medium normal?
Yeah. So you can
That's
just like.
goes into a target combo.
Well, he doesn't have a 3-frame jab, so you know he's gonna. So you gotta
Lots of
But,
characters don't have a 3-frame jab.
Hey, Doza, what do you think they should do for Nash?
Who? That's a very.
Blades.
I
it's
mean,
a
they
very-
did chop him off.
so sew his legs back on.
It's a very weird topic for me to discuss because I haven't played the game in so long. But I think the direction they're taking with Nash, as far as making him, not a zoning / keep away character, is what they want. I don't think they want lame play in Street Fighter V.
Kyle.
we got Guile though.
Well, yeah, he's the exception. He's always done that.
But his lane play is exciting.
Yeah,
Sonic Boom's really exciting. You know.
Flash kicks.
America.
America.
Back fist.
Why did you jump?
So, the only as far as Nash goes, I don't really know what to speak on as of right now. It's like they made him better as a rushdown character, but at the same time, it's not what Season 1 Nash players wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted to play the same keep away style that we had in Season 1. We can't do that anymore, so we had to adapt to Season 2 changes, and we're like, this is not how we want to play the character.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, a lot of people stopped playing the character or adjusted to the new play style, like Bonchan.
Yeah.
Bonchan is very aggressive now
Oh
compared
my
to how
god.
he played.
His Nash is
Season
a
1.
treat to
Yeah,
watch.
I love watching Bonchan's
Bonchan's Nash is great.
Yeah. It's-
Like I was gonna say the same things. Like I feel like a lot of players switch away from Nash because he doesn't play like he did in Season 1. And he might not be potentially as solid as it was in Season 1, but I think there's still things to discover with him. And Bonchan has just stuck it through, and that player is so fun to watch.
I know,
Like,
and it's like when I first watched Season 2 Bonchan footage, I was like, this isn't Bonchan. Bonchan's like the lamest player I know. And he was just getting in there, and I was like, he's doing like frame kill, back medium kick setups.
Yeah.
So back medium kick, which has, I want to say, 4 active frames or 3
Oh, yeah, his
active.
back medium kick is really
Yeah.
good now.
It's like
And-
400 frames.
Yeah, so
They made it +2.
like when you frame kill it, it's already +2. Then you just
You make
add
it like
those.
+5 and then just like
Yeah,
start
ugh.
throwing heavy buttons out there.
Yeah,
I thought one of the coolest things that I saw Bonchan do in his matches is one of the things they nerfed about Nash was his EX up kick.
hmm
Like it has less like upper body invincibility, or like the frames are different or something. So it would trade all the time. But like Bonchan would literally do the up kick as an anti-air and then buffer the medium side kick. Because if it trades, they fall at a range where medium side kick will combo and it gives him pressure. So like he either gets the hit with both hits and gives you full damage, or he gets the trade hit and then he's able to recover fast enough to combo after it anyways. So like he adapted to that situation where like he can still use EX upkick as a great anti-air. It's just either he gets it as a full anti-air or he gets a trade hit and then still gets the combo anyways. So it's like it's really cool. I don't know necessarily what Season 1 Nash players want besides old Nash back. But,
Bring back the backdash.
I mean, Nash's forward dash is still one of the best in the game.
It is.
It's still hard to react to, even with the nurse to it.
I think like if things were reverted back to Season 1 and they just buffed the weaker characters, that would be cool in my opinion.
Just like go.
Maybe not make freaking EX legs like super plus.
Air legs.
Yeah.
Don't bring that back, Capcom.
yeah. But like as far as like the weaker characters with Fang, I really want to say I think that the medium punch change was experimental and they're gonna revert the nerf on that.
Yeah, like Fong has the potential to be already a super solid character. Like they just need to, if they just tweak some of the frame data in his favor,
Yeah.
he will be really solid.
But I mean, he has a lot of things that end in +2 already.
Yeah.
Twos everywhere.
And it's like, because if they change too much, he'll become overwhelmingly strong.
Yeah.
Become a wall that you can't get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those buttons are already obnoxious.
So I guess the question is, how do you buff him without making him too strong?
Make his jab 3 frames, and I guess give his stand medium punch. Because they've nerfed it to 7 instead of 6.
The little down thing?
No, that's heavy
fierce.
punch.
Oh.
Should they up the
Oh,
poison
you mean that little
damage
reach,
a
that little
bit?
reach
Yeah.
thing?
Where he
I
does
think
that.
that's down medium punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should they up the poison damage a little bit?
See, I want to say yes, but I feel like
don't-
we don't want
I
that.
don't
Terrifying.
think- I don't think.
Like, I feel like if they were going to do that, then don't change anything else.
Yeah, because the poison damage ticks so slowly because he has really good pressure. So if he wants to go in behind
So
the poison,
you're just ticking white life.
yeah. Because I was thinking about because if he's zoning you out and you get poisoned by his vehicle or something, it's gonna take you a while before you get that poison off of you. And if they buff it, you're gonna lose like 30% before you get to Fong.
Yeah.
If he's walling you out properly.
And one of the big deals about poison in season 1 was it also stopped you from recovering white life.
And white life is
And they
nerfed
already
in season
nerfed
2.
the white life, so.
Gotcha.
So I mean, Fang players will complain about it, and if they did, yeah, you should open that.
We have a cat, y'all.
Yeah, if they did buff the damage, it would have to be in a very minor way.
And then they can't buff his other things too much because then he get max damage poison with like combos that do ridiculous damage, and it wouldn't be fun. To
I guess
fight.
Then.
one of the beauties of Street Fighter is that because everything is more based on like buttons and specials, like all you have to do is tweak some frame data and you can make a top tier character out of anybody. Right? So it's just like they have to be very careful treading that line to make sure that nobody becomes too ridiculous.
I'd like to think that, back in the office, these are things that they have toyed with. Like, oh, what if we made Fong's poison tick faster or something?
Yeah. What if we made Crouch Medium Punch +4?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, like, if I was a game dev,
What if we made-
I was working on a team, like, I'd do stuff like that just to see.
Yeah.
What if we made the first hit of Sweep Special Council?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like for me personally, being an Alex player, all I want is slightly better frame data on my normals. Like one of Alex's great assets was that even though he was a slow grappler who didn't get much Oki off of his command throws, or much of a vortex, he had great neutral. I mean, like Crouch Medium Punch was a powerhouse, and it was hard to punish, and his buttons were just really solid in general. And he lost a lot of that. The loss to stand jab anti-air is sad, but
They were trying to nerf jab anti-airs anyway.
oh yeah, no,
Apparently,
absolutely.
Quote unquote.
And I can agree with that to some degree. I can agree with that because it was too simple and easy of an answer, and it just kind of shut down jump-ins altogether a lot of the time. I mean, it was risky because if you messed it up, then you just took a full jump-in, and that sucks. But kind of forcing people to rely on using other forms of anti-air is great. So I'm okay with them taking away my jab anti-air, but I wish that they made my other anti-airs better. Right, so now, because I lost my main anti-air, and my other anti-airs feel kind of subpar. Like, Crouch Heavy Punch is faster, so it's easier to use in certain situations, but the hitbox and hurtbox is still the same. So I get beaten out by it all the time. Or it gets beaten out all the time. And I understand why they didn't make his knee smash, like, invincible, because it would be absolutely retarded if it was. Because it's one of the few anti-airs in the game that gives me pure Oki, like just ridiculous amounts of pressure. Like after the knee smash and I dash in, I'm +4. You can only tech one way because it's an animation move, so you just gotta hold that, right? So like if they actually gave it invincibility, it'd be kind of crazy. But they took away invincibility from his, or they changed the hitbox properties on his EX one. So now that one's a lot harder to use also, which I feel like part of the point of it was I'm going to spend meter to make sure that my anti-air hits, right? Mm-hmm. So like it's just one of those things. But yeah, really all I'd want to change about Alex is some frame data tweaks on his normals. Maybe his dash elbow. Like nobody ever you don't see Alex players use dash elbows anymore because they nerf the pushback on all of them, and that makes them really punishable. And they're slower. They nerf the speed on the light one, and it doesn't go as far. So really, they just nerf the light elbow all the way down. Like, it doesn't go as far, it doesn't push back as far, so it's less safe, right? And it takes longer to start up, and it takes longer to recover. And they nerf the hitbox on it so that it doesn't anti-air as well. You know, like they just really, really killed that move, and now you don't see it as much. I can understand them kind of toning it back a little bit because it was a little annoying to deal with in Season 1 where it pushed back a bunch and it went really far, so it was hard to punish and that sort of thing. But they nerfed it so much that I don't see Alex players using it at all anymore. It's like it's used in combos, you know, and as a hard read call out sometimes, and as a meaty where it's safe because of the frame data. You know, and that's it. So it's
Welcome to the life of Vegas V-Skill.
make Vegas V-Skill better. Like, I believe strongly in the design philosophy that there should be nothing that is useless, right? Like if you're gonna give a character a tool, why make it bad? You know, like even if it's not useful in every situation, give it a niche situation where it's useful in. You know, like something, and I guess Vegas V-Skill has that. But, you know, you could make it just slightly better so that it's more of a usable tool. Same thing with elbow, right?
Or Rasenha.
Or Rasenha, yeah. I think Rasenha has good uses, right?
I mean, the only thing that's really useful is it's an overhead, and
the heavy one goes over fireballs.
I guess.
For the hard call out.
You don't guess it does.
I mean, it does, but sometimes, you have to, basically read the
For the
fireball.
hard call out.
Yeah. Like, what...
Jerry,
you can make that same hard
we're talking
call-out.
about making worse characters better, not making a good character better. Calm
But
down. No.
Thank
No.
Oh, also, Frank
No.
Killer Senhas are actually good.
Yeah.
Because you can combo off of it.
Stop. We're not here to talk about Karin. She's already good.
Look, man.
I don't know what they would change about Dhalsim.
Yeah.
I feel like they keep trying. They keep trying to, like...
He's just doomed to die.
I feel like he's good where he is. Like, I don't know what else they could change without making him overwhelming.
Yeah, like his reach, his stretchy buttons are now plus, right?
Yeah.
Instead of being negative, right? Oh, they're plus on hit.
Yeah.
They're still negative on block, I'm pretty sure. But before they were negative on hit, and I was just like, what kind of nonsense is that, right? So they're plus on hit now. Yeah, I think Dhalsim is just always going to be one of those characters that is not necessarily bad, but just really hard to play.
Yeah.
You know, and you just kind of have to make immaculate reads and decision making to make him work well.
I mean, because they've already given him so many quality of life changes that I don't know what else they could do without just changing raw numbers and making him ridiculous.
They give Alex two great quality of life changes. His crouch light punch now combos into the chop, and it didn't before, which was really annoying because the only light button that comboed into chop was the stand light punch, and the range was crap on that. So he can actually combo from a farther range without having to spend meter now, and he can now combo stand medium punch from Lariat, which is a really good buff. That buff is so good, because basically, okay. Think about it like this. Before, Alex couldn't confirm any combos into his V-trigger, right? I just had to press up... the way that all of his combo routes work, they always had to go into lighter buttons, and lighter buttons don't combo from V-trigger, right? So, I had no way to combo to V-trigger. The only way I could actually combo to V-trigger is, I hope this button hits, cancel into V-trigger. If it hit, I get a V-trigger combo. If not... So now this, I have... situations where once I see that it hits you, I can get a guaranteed combo into V-trigger, and that's really good. So definitely good quality of life changes to Alex. Just change a little bit of his other buttons, and I think that he would be fine. You know, just as is.
Is there any particular time that we can try to expect to see this update come out?
I mean, they've said March. Personally,
Before final round or after?
I think it's gonna be after. Because I don't think... Because it's not coming with the colon update, apparently.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It seems like it would make the most sense.
And,
Interesting.
and they said March. So that leads me to believe it's going to be after, because why would they do it after the colon update when there's only 2 weeks between then and final round?
I feel like it'd be really silly. But, I mean, yeah.
What if they,
but,
what if
maybe
they did
they
it
want
at
to-
final round?
Maybe they want
during
to
final
see,
round.
Like-
Saturday morning pulls her up. Here's the patch.
So I'm thinking like maybe they might do it a week or two after final round. That way they can use whatever data they collect from the results of final round
To make the
That's
final
fair.
adjustments?
Yeah.
That'd be
I
fair.
think that would be fair.
At final round.
I
It's
mean,
like
That would probably
people
piss
play-
off a lot of people
People play
who were,
polls
like,
on Friday,
participating in
and then
Capcom
Friday night they
Pro Tour.
release patch notes, so everyone has to play differently on Saturday.
Or better yet,
They release it right before top 8.
Change up the game like right before top 8.
Yeah, right before
Like,
top 8.
Between pools.
There's a
and
Laura
top
in top 8. We just nerfed Laura. Get hold that.
Like, top 8 is 5 Lauras, and we're nerfing Laura.
Alright, Wolf Chrome would be so upset.
Yeah, I hope that it comes out before final round.
I would like to see it beforehand.
Yeah,
like,
I think most
honestly,
people
I would
would.
just like to see it come with the colon.
I feel like it would make the most sense.
It
but-
does, but
But I mean, like, yeah, from what you say, that does seem to make the most logical sense. Is that they're probably going to try to wait until after final round, which I don't agree with, in many ways.
Yeah, Capcom does weird things, so...
Because I mean, why? Like, so let's say they're gonna do this final adjustment and then let it rock all year like they did last patch.
Mhm.
Like, why wait till after the first premiere?
Yeah, I think that it would kind of taint the integrity of
Yeah,
the
for-
Capcom Pro Tour.
Yeah.
right? Like that.
It's
That
like
would-
that
that would,
person
like,
that
really
wins
mess up
final
things.
round, like let's say someone won fraudulently.
So let's
with a top tier character.
let's
It's like,
just
hey, I
say-
made it in. I ain't got to play no more.
For example, let's say Wolfcrown wins final round, right? And then the patch comes out, Laura gets nerfed, and Wolfcrown stops winning. But he already qualified for
Yeah,
CPT.
exactly. Yeah, it feels kind of fraudulent.
Yeah, so
I hope that they release it before final round, and I think they still can because, like V said, Capcom has a kind of weird release schedule sometimes. Like maybe they'll release Colleen on the 28th,
And then the
and
patch
then
on
2
the
days
first.
after.
2 days or maybe a week after.
Yeah.
And they,
But that's the thing. If they wait a week,
It
then
gives
that
people a
means
week to learn
like
the
that
patch.
looks bad from a competitive integrity standpoint because now you're giving people whose livelihoods are based on performing as players.
and it's
Oh,
like-
week.
They only have a week to prepare. So either way, it's a lose-lose
I mean, I feel like
situation.
but those people would also have the most time to prepare, since that is
That's
their
still
livelihood.
not fair.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, I know it's not fair, but I'm just saying, like, in that situation, the people whose livelihood is to play these games would have the most ample time to prepare in that situation. Therefore, the average schmo like you and me, who thinks we can do good, would be the one person screwed over more because we don't have as much time to prepare as a pro gamer.
I guess.
But I do understand that it wouldn't be fair to anyone to do it before.
and not a week before.
Yeah, not a week before. At least
I mean,
2 weeks.
even 2 weeks before is kind of pushing it, really.
Yeah, but 2 week minimum at least, though.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks would have been better.
I mean,
but-
that might be their reasoning then. They might think that 2 weeks isn't enough time to have people adjust, and that's why they're going to wait till after.
Yeah.
Which still is a bad look, but that might be preferable to them than changing
I mean,
it
I think that
beforehand.
is the preferable choice over
feel like
giving someone whose job it is to win at a tournament 2 weeks to change how they play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I wish they would just say after final round. Like, why they gotta keep all these dates a mystery, you know?
Because
I don't know.
because after the blow-ups of last year where Capcom Japan and Capcom USA were having communication issues and Capcom USA was saying, oh, on this date we're going to do X, and then that date would come and they couldn't provide X. Capcom Japan's like, stop saying we're going to do things by this date.
That's fair.
I actually watched an interview on that subject between Michael Martin, the Yahoo Esports guy, and one of the marketing guys from Capcom, I think is who he was. So,
Bless you.
Man, I guess
and that was one of the conversations at hand.
I guess at this point we just play the waiting game.
I want to know.
Hopefully it'll come out sooner rather than later, but
I want to know. It's likely going to affect me. Hopefully.
It probably won't affect me very much.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I think Vega's pretty good. I don't think he's top tier. But I think he's solid enough that he can kind of stay where he's at.
I mean, he's probably what's gonna happen. I don't expect him to move up or down the tier list at all. I don't know what they could do to enhance that.
Yeah, make his V skill better.
Make his command grab 5 frames.
So
Yeah,
unnecessary.
that's a topic for another time.
Increase the range, make it 5 frames, give him guaranteed Oki after all of it.
Make all of his command grabs the same knockout time as EX command grab.
Make it so that he can cancel his forward dash into command throw.
No,
You can't do that already?
It feels like it, doesn't it?
what I would really like is for them to make just make revert the EX roll change where it's still faster. Like they can leave the distance the same, but just make it move faster, and also make EX wall dive projectile invincible because I feel like that should be a thing.
I mean, he already has a projectile invincible move.
It's a super.
No, and the EX roll.
Yeah, but EX roll doesn't go anywhere. You can't punish anything with it.
I mean, get good.
that's not about okay.
I
You're
mean,
right, man. You got me.
Yeah, anyway, I guess it's a topic for another day. Let's move on to the news block. Which it contains more Street Fighter, but not in the way that you guys would like to talk about.
Alright.
Personally, I like this, but I know you guys don't really care for it. But
Sure.
I think a couple of Wednesday night fights ago, Brent is cool decided, hey yo guys, what would happen if we randomly brought back Ultra Street Fighter 4 for like a tournament? So he brings it back, and it does really well. It gets more entrants than BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, and KOL.
Of course
It was like
it
the
did.
most.
It's Street Fighter.
Shocking.
And it even outperformed Melee. So
Of course, it's Street Fighter in SoCal.
So like. It was the third most popular game that Wednesday night fight. So he decides, hey yo, what if we brought back Ultra Street Fighter 4
Smash 4.
every first Wednesday of the month. So they decided to rock that. So they're gonna keep doing that for a while. But also the heads at Capcom Cup were like,
Canada Cup.
or Canada Cup, yeah, my bad.
Because Lapchi loves
But Canada,
Street Fighter 4.
Canada Cup. So they were like, hey, let's put out a poll on Twitter and ask, yo, what would happen if we put in Street Fighter 4 for the list of games at next year's Canada, or this year's Canada Cup? And 35% of the people say that they would come just for Ultra Street Fighter 4. And apparently that number equivalated to about 700 people. Which is a lot.
And only 200 to 300 of them would actually come.
Probably?
I mean,
Who
but think
knows?
about it.
Or
but-
less.
Either way, there's still a very vocal community, though.
I mean,
so
of
I want to
course.
know what everyone's thoughts on a possible Ultra Street Fighter 4 revival.
I don't have one. But in all seriousness, honestly, the only reason, I mean, and it should be obvious, honestly, but the only reason why such a following exists is because, one, people love old games. People don't like letting things die. And that's
People don't like
why
change.
that's why things like Melee still exist. That's why people still play Melty Blood to this day. People love playing. Oh, that's why these boys have been whole horsing it up in the JoJo's Capcom fighting game recently for no reason. And on top of that, you gotta think, Street Fighter 4 was the most popular fighting game for what, 7, 8 years straight?
Yeah, it was a long time.
So of course, Capcom, the juggernaut of fighting games, if you ask people, do they want to play the game they've been playing for the last 8 years again, of course they're gonna be like, yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, yeah.
and it's so vastly different from 5 that it's not like a BlazBlue situation where a new version of BlazBlue came out. The games are similar enough. To
Yeah,
where they
like
don't
that
feel
doesn't happen
different.
because BlazBlue, like new BlazBlues are really just an update, like a patch per
Yeah,
se,
basically.
and they add in some DLC and they alter some system mechanics.
But Street Fighter
the
5
game,
Street Fighter 4
Like-
compared to 5 is like vast.
Yeah, different games.
It's two completely different games. If you can literally just change the character models and give them different names, and it could be two different fighting games because it's so different.
Marvel versus Infinite, when that comes out, I'm going to play the hell out of. But if a tournament organizer was like, hey, we're going to run Marvel 3, are you going to enter? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you've been playing it
Of
for
course.
years. I already know the
Why not?
rest of
Why
it.
not?
I don't have to practice, you know.
I mean, but that's...
Would you go just to play Marvel 3 though?
Probably not. I mean, that's... Alright, so here's the big thing, and I've heard other players talk about this. Like, people are more or less excited about the potential revival of Street Fighter 4, but everybody universally agrees that it's going to look terrible, right? Because nobody has practiced Street Fighter 4 at this point for a year and a half since Street Fighter 5 came out. It's not going to look that good. It's the same route that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has kind of taken in some capacities, because when Street Fighter 5 came out, people stopped playing Marvel 3 also, right? And so I'll go to these majors, I was like, oh boy, let's watch Marvel 3, and it's a slop fest, right? Like, people dropping combos, like, people just aren't going to be on top of their game anymore.
I mean, Ryan LV still plays very well.
Yeah, because that's what Ryan LV plays.
LV doesn't play anything else.
It's the same thing for people like I Heart Justice, you know. I no disrespect to I Heart Justice, but I am 100% on the boat that if Marvel was still alive, you would not be saying his name as often in top 8 as you do now.
I mean, there's also Terry Bogard.
Same with
He plays
Ryan
a lot of KOF-14.
Yeah, but he also plays a lot of Marvel. Like, he never stopped practicing Marvel, is the point.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people that are winning right now are the people who didn't stop practicing.
Yeah.
Because you don't see Justin Wong anymore, you don't see F Champ, you don't see KBR, because they all stopped playing.
I mean, you see KBR sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
But, like,
KBR
Champ and Justin, half the time, don't even enter Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. It's just they're dead. So same thing with Street Fighter 4. I guarantee they have a Street Fighter 4 revival. The only name you might see that you recognize might be K-Brad, since K-Brad can always pick up Cammy and do Cammy stuff.
That is true.
That man is so bound to Cammy.
But
my Cammy ridiculous.
But like,
that man is from here.
Yeah, K-Brad, come back home, bro.
Come to Slam.
Hey, bro, coming to Slam.
We'll run Street Fighter 4 just for now. We're not gonna do that.
We're not gonna do that.
But I mean, it's at the same time. So like I said, no one's really gonna play it. That made the game interesting in the first place. No one's gonna play it. The only people that are gonna play it and pay attention to it are people that are diehards.
I mean, we might see some new names.
I know, but the thing
That's what happened with Marvel.
is, no one's gonna care about them though. Like, nobody cares about the new names of Marvel right now, except for Richard fangirling over Ryan LV.
I mean, I like Ryan LV.
I mean, I like Ryan LV too. He's cool to watch because we're already fans of the game.
Yeah.
He's not gonna pull any new draw to the community.
I don't feel particularly hype about Ryan LV. I mean, I think he's cool, and I'm glad that he's doing well with the game and everything, but whenever I go to a top 8, I'm like, oh, Ryan LV's in top 8. Cool. Also, 6 other names that I don't recognize. Cool. Let's watch this top 8 now. You know,
And
Joey
so-
D won KIT.
Cool.
One at a time.
But yeah, so it's like
See
same
you
thing.
in a couple months, guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same thing with like Street Fighter 4.
Still
Where,
can't believe him and Glenn are the same age.
yeah, that's kind of ridiculous actually. That
Yeah,
dude,
but-
when I met that dude at Fausting, that man was huge.
He's big, but he seems pretty young. You know, like.
Anyway, but so I feel like a Street Fighter got a Marvel. A Street Fighter 4 revival, I don't think it's worth the effort, honestly. Because, I mean, I feel like it's just drudging up the past for no reason. Because even if it does work and people start playing it in tournament again, it's going to be poverty status. Like, it'll obviously do better than anime games because it's Street Fighter. It's bound to do better than anime games by definition of fighting game logic.
But in the
it's
grand
not
scheme of things, it's not.
Yeah, it's not in the grand scheme of things. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to get any support from the developers. None of the good players are going to play it anymore because they're focusing on Street Fighter 5. That's where all the money is.
I think that's
It
really
only-
the big thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to get support
It
from
would
the
only
developers.
be the fan base keeping it alive, basically, which is what it is right now.
I mean, that's basically what happened to Melee.
I think it's mostly going to depend on like how strong of like how many people it could potentially bring in to where it could actually like live up or
That's the problem, is that I don't think there's going to be a single new player
Picking
up Street Fighter 4.
No one new is going to pick up Street Fighter 4. It has the anime syndrome to where it's too complicated, and then there's not enough return on your investment for picking it up as a new player.
Like if a new player getting into fighting games, they're going to see Street Fighter 5, right? I mean, Street Fighter 5 is going to be in that thing, right? E-League and all that. Yeah.
On TBS.
On TBS. They're going to see Street Fighter 5 because Street Fighter 5 is what's being pushed.
Yeah, it's been pushed in the media. Like, it's on mainstream media. When you think of fighting games, the fighting game you're going to think of is Street Fighter 5.
Like, if I suddenly wanted to be a StarCraft player, I'm not going to play StarCraft 1. Right? Like, I'm gonna play StarCraft 2 because that's... Even if StarCraft 1 was fun and a bunch of StarCraft 2 players were like, hey, StarCraft 1 is really cool, I'd be like, yeah, awesome. I'm gonna play StarCraft 2 because that's what's current, right? That's the most common thing. And if I go to a place, I am more guaranteed to find a bunch of StarCraft 2 players than StarCraft 1 player. Right?
Yeah, like I feel like the only game that's really been immune to that stigma was Melee, and that was through sheer attrition. But
I mean, it was a bunch of people that were dissatisfied with Brawl, so they went and played Melee.
And that's another problem. That's another reason why Melee persisted through its death.
Yeah,
is
like-
because Brawl was so bad.
yeah, like if people didn't hate Brawl the way people hate Brawl, Melee would be dead just like everything else that's old.
Like if they would have made a Melee 2 and just named it like, I don't know, like Fisticuffs, Super Smash Bros. Fisticuffs. Then Fisticuffs was being played right now, and Melee would have died. And subsequently, whenever Smash 4 came out, and then probably would have took more elements from Fisticuffs, which people would have still liked it because it took more elements from that, and then subsequently, Fisticuffs would have also died.
I think it will also depend on how the dissatisfaction of Street Fighter V will continue.
See, that's
if
the
it
thing.
continues.
See, that's the thing.
Only like the people who are dissatisfied with Street Fighter V, and from my experience, are people who don't play the game anyway.
And there are also a lot of people dissatisfied with Street Fighter V who just still play it.
Because that's the cool. Like the other cool thing to do is just hate on Street Fighter 5.
I mean,
that
because
was the same scenario with Melee, though.
I mean, it's the same scenario with Street Fighter 4. People complain about Street Fighter 4 when it was the main game.
Yeah,
oh
sure.
man, Sleep Fighter on stream. Yo,
But the-
Resident Kappa
But
is
the
just
other
chatting
thing-
Like foaming at the mouth, like, oh, Sleep Fighter, yeah.
But the other thing is, we now what?
What about Japan?
Do they even have Street Fighter 5 in arcade yet?
No,
So they still play 4 as their main game.
in arcade, yeah. But
I mean, that's
anyways, like
I think this revival has potential.
the other thing is you gotta think Melee can get away with that because the Melee players have no reason to move on to 4 because 4 also does not have developer support in the form of big prize pools and circuits the way Street Fighter 5 does versus Street Fighter 4.
Like Melee gets just as much community support as Smash 4 does. Therefore, you get the same reward for being.
They're literally in the same boat.
I will say that the big difference is the whole money thing.
Mhm.
So
On top of that, another point I wanted to add in before I lose it. I already lose it. It's leaving me. Wait. Darn it. Okay, I'll come back.
Yeah. Here's a great example. Why don't we just play KOF 13? That game is great.
I would love to play KOF.
Why did we
13,
ever
yeah.
stop?
I never started because it's too hard.
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
The game was pretty tough.
But in the light of this topic, right? KOF 13 players have moved on to play KOF 14, even though they hate it, even though they don't like KOF 14. Is what it is. You know, like I don't know. I mean, I will always support people playing whatever it is that they want to play that is fun for them. You know, and if a bunch of people want to come around and play Street Fighter 4. And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to play Street Fighter 4? Hell no. Absolutely not. No question.
I figured this would have been an interesting topic for y'all because y'all are not big fans of Street Fighter 4.
I think Street Fighter 4 was fine. It wasn't a game that I felt like I wanted to play
Yeah, like,
at the time.
I share the same sentiment.
Yeah.
I think it was fine for what it is. You know, there were times where I could watch it and be like, "This is pretty nice," and then there's other times where I was, but you know, that was just the nature of the game, and it wasn't the game that I found fond of playing. Like
Yeah,
when
no.
I sat down and played that game like a week or two ago with AJ, it was probably the most miserable experience I had in the past 2 weeks. Probably the past couple months.
I mean, but honestly, I don't feel like that a revival couldn't happen. Like I'm fully like confident that if people were like, yeah, let's bring Street Fighter 4 back to tournaments, it might be run. It might not be like a mainline game, but I definitely could feel.
I mean, then people still have like third
Yeah.
strike side
Yeah,
turns.
exactly. Like I'm definitely like it come
Marvel
back,
2.
but I feel like even if it does come back, it's not going to affect the current scope of how tournaments are played out.
I don't know, it's definitely not going to be a main game unless it gets thousands of entries.
I
or
doubt
something.
even at that
And
point it
that's
wouldn't be a
not-
main game.
I don't like it
Because
can't-
It
Capcom-
won't be Capcom supported.
No, I
but-
feel like Capcom would purposely be like, no, we want Street Fighter 5 to be the main game.
Yeah, I think that if
I think
the
they'd stop
developer
it.
actually said something about it, they'd probably just want people to play Street Fighter 5.
I mean, it would be a main game alongside Street Fighter 5, but Capcom would be more supportive of Street Fighter
No,
5.
I feel like that's-
kind of like how Melee and Smash 4.
I think
I mean,
that-
but once again, the developer isn't a part of that. I
know,
feel like
I
if Street Fighter 4 had a revival, like let's say theoretically it happens. Let's say, Street Fighter 4 has a revival, and that final round has like 500 less entries in Street Fighter 5. I feel like on a grand scheme, if people start trying to promote that, Capcom would be like, nah, it's not worth it, because then it'll be conflicting and they won't get like it'll conflict with their sales because people will see Street Fighter 4 and 5 back to back. And like, oh, people are still playing 4. Why would I spend money on 5? I can just buy this cheaper, older game and keep playing it.
Yeah.
And Capcom will be like, no, that's bad for our sales.
It's bad. It's bad for business.
Yeah, so let's just not like we tell them to no, don't run those tournaments, or if they do, make sure they stay small, have a cap
Like,
on them or something.
I mean, I will say, like, mad props to the Smash community, but I really don't think a situation like Melee is ever going to happen
Ever again.
ever again. Like, there was a
And if
very,
it does, definitely not in the normal FGC scene.
like it was it's definitely really cool, and it's a very unique thing that occurred, and it's very impressive. But because of all of those things, it's very unlikely, right? So, like, again, I think Street Fighter 4 can have its little revival, and people will come and play Street Fighter 4, but it's really never going to share the stage like Melee does with Smash 4, right? Like, it's always going to be kind of a side event, because it's not gonna get new players, unlike how Melee does, right? Like, it's not gonna. Like, if people were given... Again, I think if people were given an option to play Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 4, most are going to pick 5. Especially because, from a beginner standpoint, Street Fighter 5 is much easier to play. Right? Like, Smash... I mean, Melee, you can just jump in and play. You're going to be bad at it, you're going to get crushed by everybody, but you can still jump in and play.
You can at least make your character do the cool things that characters can do.
Yeah.
I remember my other point was nostalgia. People have a bunch of nostalgia for a game like Melee as opposed to 4, which, I mean,
People...
I don't know. There's a bunch of cool characters
There's a lot of nostalgia for 4.
I mean, there's not nostalgia for 4 for us, but I feel like Melee has a larger nostalgia range.
That
'cause
is
it's
true,
older.
that is true, yeah. So, like, Smash in general appeals to a much larger audience.
Yeah, like the
than Street
Nintendo
Fighter does.
characters.
Yeah, exactly. So that, I mean, Master Steph has a great point in that because it appeals to a large range, like somebody jumping into the games might not be like, oh, well, Melee has all the cool characters that I like also anyways, so I'll play Melee. But I did want to ask, like, numbers-wise, how is Smash 4 doing compared to Melee?
It's been higher.
It's higher, but Melee's like never really that far behind.
Yeah, like, I think Evo Melee may have been at most 200 below.
Mm-hmm.
But they were both
they're
above 2,000.
They're usually relatively even in numbers at like tournaments that run both for the most part. Sometimes they run tournaments that are like more Smash 4 focused or more Melee focused or something like that. But usually at most like majors, they're like hand in hand. They're interchangeable.
I mean, I think it really shows that players, like, the slight overlap is probably that there is a larger section of players who are willing to play Smash 4 but not Melee. Right? So if there's a Venn diagram, on the outsides, there's got to be players that will only play Melee, not Smash 4, and then players that only play Smash 4, not Melee. I think the largest section is the cross-section where there's a giant number of players who are just willing to do both.
Actually, that's not true.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually the opposite. There's very minimal overlap
Really?
between the two scenes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Like, a lot of Smash 4 players pick up Melee because they're like, oh, it's another Smash game. I like Smash. I'll play Melee. But I feel like a lot of Melee players don't pick up Smash 4.
Yeah, they really like their wave dashes and their wave shines.
Well, yeah. So Smash 4 players will play Melee. But
Yeah, like
Melee players won't play Smash 4.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why there are more Smash 4 players, right? Like, it's like, I think that just really shows that, the newest thing on the market, the thing that is visible to new players, that's what's going to draw in the most people.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Yeah. So and that's.
I mean,
great.
Smash 4 is the game that's been on TV. They had the little Disney cross Nintendo on.
Mm-hmm.
They had like an event with Disney XD, and like they played Smash and Mario Kart with kids. Like they had pros do it. Like the cat was on it and stuff.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
Well, I hope the Street Fighter 4 revival thing goes well enough that because people like the game. Obviously, I just hope that I never have to sit through another Street Fighter 4 top 8 ever again.
Same.
It's just.
Pretty.
I mean, you don't have to sit through it.
I'm usually asleep. You're right.
You can fall asleep. You can leave the room. You can go play casuals elsewhere.
Yeah, I usually went and played Marvel Casuals while Street Fighter.
I can honestly say that to this date, I've never fallen asleep during a Street Fighter 5 top 8, but I have fallen asleep during Street Fighter 4 top 8. Just putting that out there.
That's like the opposite for me. I enjoy watching Street Fighter 4.
I mean, but you really don't enjoy 5 as a game. So
I don't.
So that's fair.
Like, don't get me wrong. As much as we obviously don't like playing Street Fighter 4, but I don't have anything against the game. I think the game is fine. Like, I like the game as it is. I think it's fun actually when I play it and I know what I'm doing. I just don't find it as interesting because there's so much underlying stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, there's so many like hidden OSs and all this and that.
I mean, that's honestly the only time I found it the most interesting was back when the rise of the Momochi, like, DP Grab Tech, Red Focus OS. Like, I thought that was cool.
But, yeah, like,
everything's, like, interesting once you, like,
understand.
when you follow and understand, like, everything that's going on, like, in the game's, like, system and whatnot, which is why I say all the time, like, if y'all actually, like, understood, like, all what was happening in Melee, like, y'all would actually, like, appreciate it more.
I mean, I still appreciate what's going on in Melee. I just don't find it interesting to watch. It's because I don't understand. I can appreciate that they're doing a lot of execution and high level skill and this tech and that, but I don't have to enjoy watching it.
I mean, like, Street Fighter 4 had a lot of interesting tech, and I was reading up on it because I felt like I needed to as a core member of the community. That was really interesting, but I also felt like it was prohibitive. That was one of the reasons, like, whenever I was trying to get into Street Fighter 4, and I was like, oh, I have to learn, like, 15 OSs so that I can actually play this game kind of competently. Which, obviously is not necessarily true. You can play it honestly without learning OSs and stuff. But I mean, like, it's just like to play the game optimally, I had to put in a lot of effort, which is impressive for the people who have. But I don't know. I like Street Fighter 5 a lot. I guess just different. The different. They're very different games.
Yeah, they are very different games. Like I said, I don't dislike Street Fighter 4 as much as you may think. I dislike older games. That is not the case. I have nothing against Melee. Like, honestly, if I really want, like, if someone wanted to sit down and show me how to play Melee, I'd probably do it. I like playing games. I got nothing against a game because it's old. I just prefer Street Fighter 5 over 4. But I don't dislike 4.
Yeah.
Just like I prefer to play the newest version of Blaze Blue, no matter how much I may have enjoyed 1.0 Hazama or, or CS Ragnar or whatever. I still prefer to play the newest version.
Yeah. Like, I go back and play old versions and I'm like, man, how did I play this?
I enjoy playing Yon somewhat, EX Dash Punch being +1 is really cool.
I always got hype hitting you with that Karakusa into Seichusen Godantoki.
But I really think that I think that Street Fighter 5 has a lot of potential. It's just really young right now, so as the roster continues to expand and as they continue to expand on the system mechanics and stuff, it will grow into a interesting game, much like Street Fighter 4 did. Because from what I understand, a lot of people also didn't like vanilla Street Fighter 4.
No.
So.
Oh yeah, there's the same story for Street Fighter 3 as well.
Yeah.
It didn't get good until Third Strike.
Yeah, that's every game ever.
It's pretty much
it's
pretty much every Street Fighter game.
Someone's gonna hate the game at the beginning, and then
eventually it gets good.
Yeah, you have to go through trial and error to figure out.
Like, I'm sure, like 3 years, B will probably be talking about, man, I love Street Fighter 5. Remember? They're talking about Street Fighter 6, man. F Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 5 is so good.
But V does that to every new game. He's just gonna be like, man, this game sucks. And, about a year or two later, he'll be like, oh,
same way.
Marvel Infinite was a mistake.
He did that with CF, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
He absolutely
Fiction
hated
sucks.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was also like that with Smash 4, but only because Smash 4 started out terrible. It actually legitimately started out shitty.
Yeah, that's fine.
And, we'll probably have some harsh feelings whenever MVCI comes out.
I probably won't. I'm usually pretty.
I'm so excited about the game. I can't imagine not liking it. Like, even if I do hate it, I'm gonna still play the hell out of it.
Look how giddy Van gets.
I'm so excited. It could just be like a Street Fighter 4 clone, and then just like call it MVCI. And like, oh my god, this game's amazing.
Like we had 2 characters, no power jump.
To be fair, I liked Street Fighter 5 when it first came out. I thought it was really fun. And then
You did. Then you started thinking your character sucked, and you started hating the game. That's exactly what happened.
And
I don't even know
KOF
why.
14 a lot at first too, but then it just got boring for me.
Well, just gotta.
I don't hate every new game that comes out. I give every new game a legitimate shot. a legitimate shot before I pass judgment.
Before you decide that it's bad.
Yep.
Alright, well, that was our Street Fighter 4 rant. Glenn can now come back for the next segment.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'll just say I like watching Street Fighter 4. If it gets a revival, I'll be hyped. But if it doesn't,
I like
well,
watching certain
just-
players play
we'll
Street
just-
Fighter 4.
We'll just keep going with it, I guess.
If they do not announce something for,
At final
for
round?
MVCI at final round, I will flip.
I'm telling you that we're not getting an announcement until E3.
I will.
See, Brand's gonna
I will personally attack Shin Blanca.
This is what's gonna happen.
Brand's gonna have
Infiltration's gonna be like, show me the so and so trailer for MVCI, and then Capcom's not gonna show it.
Then they're gonna play the Rashid theme.
The main issue.
And everyone's gonna think, yo, Rashid's an MVCI.
Y'all remember whenever like we got the trailer for Akuma, and they were like, yo, that's not. Like, Akuma is not gonna be in the game, right? And we're like, oh my god, was that an MVCI? Was that a Marvel 4 trailer? Right? It's like, because Akuma can be in Marvel 4, right? Right? We're like, just like desperate. Just like for anything.
Please give us.
But yeah, I don't think we're getting anything till E3.
When is E3?
June.
It's too long.
That's kind of long.
That's too long. I mean, if they're gonna plan on releasing it in the
We'll
fall,
get, like,
why would they
one
wait that
tiny-
long?
I don't think we're getting it in the fall.
See,
Really? You think they're gonna push it back?
I think we're not getting it till like November, December.
Yeah, but it's still gonna be released this year,
Yeah.
right? Because they're probably gonna hold on to that deadline, maybe. I mean, if
Like, we'll either get something at PAX East or E3. I don't think anything's coming for Final Round.
I mean, you said that from looking at the trailer, you felt like they were probably pretty far along in development.
Yeah, and I feel like the build we saw the trailer being done on was like several builds old.
Yeah. So I mean, like
They
there's
might
there's no reason for them not to spoil anything.
Yes, but the other thing is Marvel is actually more in charge this go around than Capcom.
Yeah, but like I feel like Marvel has many incentives to like release. I mean, like Marvel has been very active in the cinematic universe, right? Especially this year, there's a bunch of great movies coming out, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for them not to.
So just release a trailer of something.
Please.
It could be anything.
that's-
Marvel, if you're listening.
I would like to
It
see.
could be just like two new
Stan
characters.
Lee.
I would love to be proven wrong.
Mr. Lee.
Stan Lee,
See,
please.
Van's gonna be at final round with 2 bottles of alcohol. One's gonna be if they announce something. One's gonna be if they don't announce something.
Walt Disney, please.
They're both gonna get drunken though.
That's right, yeah. Like, you know, if they do announce it, I'll drink this one. If they don't announce it, I'll drink them both. Because I'm going to destroy the place.
Well, speaking of Marvel, let's move on to the newest segment, the Stadium. We talk about tournament
Oh
results.
snap! We got a name for it.
Yeah,
Stadium.
I'm on
Pokemon
top of this.
Stadium.
Pokemon
Godlike.
Stadium. That game was
Alright, so recently we we streamed a tournament called NOLA Gaming Fest.
Yeah. Shout out
And-
to NOLA Gaming Fest.
It had like almost everything. I think the only game that wasn't run was Guilty Gear.
Ironically.
Hilarious.
Rest in peace, Guilty
Yeah,
Gear.
like a Settlers of Catan tournament, but not Guilty Gear.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah, no,
players
It barely had Blaze
You're
Blitz.
like, you want this corn? I got this. I give you some of this corn.
Yeah, a lot of players showed
Got any
up.
lumber?
Let's start with the Marvel results, I guess.
First place.
Ramasama.
Whoever would have guessed.
The Sunrise.
Ron Masama.
It was hype how he won.
It's because I wasn't there.
Was it hype high?
Yeah, you're right.
So-
And then second place. That's the
Second
step.
place was Master Step.
Hey,
Because I wasn't there.
Dang.
Third place.
Third place was
Bebop.
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 So it was a Hagar top 3. How's it make you feel, Van?
It makes me feel bad. Makes me feel really bad that I wasn't there to stop the Hagar wave.
In fourth
And
place.
in fourth place was
we
our
had
very own
Robbie B.
Hey, Robbie
Hey.
B.
Robbie B.
Robbie B. Yeah, that
I
was
don't
your
know
top
what
4
them
for Marvel.
Yep.
That's probably a tough matchup. No, Nova versus Hagar.
I feel like it's not, personally. I feel like it's in Nova's favor.
You
think
said
so?
a gravimetric pulse in camp.
Yeah, you just sit camp on gravimetric pulse and energy javelins, and it's really hard for Hagar to get in. Because any projectile assist gets eaten by the gravimetric pulse.
You just jump into the gravimetric poles and block it. That's what I do every time.
Yeah, no, then he just flies away and keeps doing it.
I mean, he super jumps, but he's vulnerable when he dashes.
But no, like he's out of range where Hagar, like if he's out of range where Hagar can't get to him. Like if you block it, you have time to jump up, fly forward, and S to the other side of the screen before Hagar gets out of block stun to
You
stop
just gotta
him.
make sure your planks are on fleek. Robbie B, who did you lose to?
Bebop.
Ramasama and Gantz.
So you lost to 2 Hagar players.
Yeah.
All right.
What did they do?
I mean, on top of that, I also feel like Nova can.
But here's
like,
the thing.
Yeah, like any.
Rob got the hits to beat.
That is true.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched your match versus Ramasama, and I was very disappointed.
Rip.
Because you could have won.
Yeah, see that's the point. See that matchup it's not that Nova had an issue. Nova just dropped his combo. The game was over.
The game.
Because that's how I feel.
was over.
Anytime Nova gets a hit on Hagar, he just dies. He shouldn't live that combo.
Yeah.
Because he hits like a grown man.
A grown man
So.
with a
The power of
a grand wizard behind him.
I'm just a mayor.
Anyway, let's move on to Blaze Blue. In first place,
Steph
we
won.
had Master Steph
Because I
with
didn't
9 the
enter.
Phantom. And
I didn't in it. Why you popping off?
Right?
in second place, we had
'Cause I grabbed
Doza
this.
with Ragnar the Blood Edge.
Because I air grab 60.
How do you grab 16?
Did you play 9?
I mean, I grabbed it on startup before, so I
No,
don't know why you're
no,
upset.
I'm sorry. He air grabbed
Oh,
60.
well, that's the
Yeah, like
difference.
of all of the fighting games that I've ever seen, like Power Rangers excluded, 9 is like the most ridiculous character.
She's not even that.
She's
ridiculous.
actually not that bad.
9 is
If
crazy.
you don't know what you're looking
I mean,
at, though.
Yeah, if you don't know where you look at that, she looks
Like
terrible.
all I see is just like giant hitboxes everywhere. Like what? It's like worse than a Morgan storm. You know, I'm just like, where do I stand that I don't get hit by like a breath of wind or like weird ice things coming out? You know, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I don't think she's that bad.
Okay, I mean, like I've never played against her, but it just seems
It's
seems
definitely a tasking matchup.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Especially for mid-tier characters and below.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine
We
that,
all play normal guy characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
I mean, like anytime you play against a character with like really solid neutral, it's exhausting because you have to outplay them in order to get through the neutral, right? Like that's just what it is. So who made third?
Third place was a 3-way tie between
Oh, that's
V,
right. That was right.
Yeah,
Arcadia, and Soda.
It was a round robin. So
Okay,
It was a 5-person round robin of all 482 boys. So,
nice.
Yeah, we go hard on the Blaze.
I didn't enter though.
The entire tournament was 482 boys.
Yep.
Are we gonna start we're gonna do a Blaze Blue Elo?
I mean, we actually have one.
Blaze Blue ranking
But-
system.
But once Blaze Blue at the Cove died because Richard, Colin, and Glenn are no more, we
no
stopped.
more.
no more. Rest in
Wait,
peace,
does that
Glenn.
mean everybody 42 made top 8?
In what?
Hell yeah!
Yes.
Good
We
job,
did
Jeff.
it.
We broke the 9th place curse.
Finally, yeah.
There wasn't even a
I
9th
mean,
place.
the 9th place curse got broken
Yeah, that's true.
a while
yeah.
back.
I don't know.
9th place
I don't know.
curse still kind of
I mean,
exists.
I have a medal
Just-
in my car that proves that the curse has been broken.
in other games, the 9th place curse still exists.
Oh, that's fine.
So let's move on to KOF 14. In 4th place, we had RNG Roller Bears.
Oh, I like that guy.
Yeah, pretty cool. I like him.
In 3rd place, we had Creole Mustard from 482.
Mashing his way to
Jesus.
the top.
Yeah.
He actually mashed his way to the top 3.
That's
Yeah,
not
you
surprising.
In 2nd place, we had Drunk Monkey,
I
One of the,
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
one of the
Real solid.
Monroe boys.
Monroe boys.
And in first
In
place,
first place, we had Doza.
out of the Shadow
Hey,
Realm
Out of the
himself.
Shadow Realm.
He hadn't even practiced the game in a long
I don't
time.
play this
I
game,
practiced a lot like the week before.
Did Hung not go?
No.
No.
No. Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Glenn
Glenn
would've
probably
beat
would have beat him. So Drunk Monkey would have got 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Didn't Drunk Monkey beat Hung last time, though? Last time at the Cove? Like,
I don't
not the previous Cove, but the Cove
No,
before
you
that.
doubled. Oh.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I double Jeopardy Hung.
I
in the last Cove.
I feel like Hung could have beaten Drunk Monkey.
I mean,
I
probably.
also believe.
Shoutouts to Mui. You don't even own the game.
Yeah, but
And if Guilty Gear would have been there, Hung would have won. That's
Yeah.
fine.
It felt really good to finally, come back and
Doesn't own that game either.
show everybody I still got it.
Hung, the best player that doesn't own the game.
Yeah, he only plays Mobages now.
Alright, so in Mortal Kombat X, I'm gonna do the top 8 for this because this was actually insane for Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, the whole top 8 was great.
Tied for 7th place was GOL Pygmy Potato and GOL Eclectic.
Oh,
Yeah, at the bottom.
Yeah.
Wow.
both really good players.
Shockers.
Yeah, very.
Like, usually those are the guys winning around here.
yeah. I mean,
But
Here's the bigger shocker though.
You ain't ready for this one.
In 5th place, we had a tie between hashtag the clan Drago
That guy's really
and
Yeah.
at BBW Messiah.
good.
Yeah, upset.
Upsets all around.
Upsets all around.
Somebody.
Oh, see, it was actually
Yo.
the most heartbreaking thing too of how Rasan lost because he lost in the first match in top 8. I'm not gonna say to who because that's a surprise for later. But basically, he had the game-winning combo. He drops it, and then the person kills him.
I mean, I saw the post. He said he seemed really angry.
He was pretty angry.
Not only was he angry, but he went out to the parking lot and set his controller on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Literally
He took a
on
torch.
fire.
He took a torch to the controller.
Oh, he literally.
What did he torch it with?
A torch that they...
Like a blowtorch.
Yeah, like a blowtorch.
Like he put like a bunch of lighter gas on it, and he just took a blowtorch to it.
From what he said, his pad literally gave out on him during that combo.
Yep.
Like the D-pad,
Mm-hmm.
it literally gave
Man.
out on him during that combo.
I kind of wish that I was a pad player so I could just trivially destroy the things that I play on. It's like if I destroyed my hitbox up, I'm out $250. Cool. Can't do that.
Yeah. And apparently,
Wow.
RNG Growler Bears is all about the Mike Ross Award because he also got 4th place at this tournament too.
Dang.
Growler Bears?
Yep.
Yeah. Word.
I like Chris. He's cool people.
So he lost to Growler Bears? Or something?
No. actually.
We haven't gotten to that part yet.
Okay.
So in 3rd place, we got Kilgore Trout.
Oh, that guy's good. I'm surprised he's not. He's
Devore.
not in something, right?
No.
He's a Devore player?
He's
He's a
uh,
Devore player.
Wow.
He's always played Devore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has. He's a
like
Devore
always
man.
like he's been a Devore man through and through the millions of MKX patches.
yeah.
He's stuck with her.
In 2nd place, we have K-Dog.
Hey, I like that
Hashtag
guy.
Yeah.
playing K-Dog.
Yo,
Who beat
yeah, I was
BBW
a fan.
Messiah?
I was,
Yeah,
okay,
He
dog.
put him in losers because they were winners together.
The god.
I was a fan. Boy. Yo, Kenshi? Yo, he was playing...
Kid Dog was playing Kenshin?
Yo, he was playing
Yeah, he's playing
Rush...
Possessed.
Your old man.
He was
He's
playing
playing
RTSD Possessed Kenshi.
I had to drop Kenshin because he was so bad in the first
And
game.
now he's amazing.
He's good now.
Yeah.
Like, he was
Yeah,
getting
That's
in
how he was at
there.
MK9 too, I think.
Yeah, he was getting in
He
there.
has teleports that make plus. He has overheads.
He has an overhead
He has a low.
that if you do the Meter Baron version, it's a low that launches.
Oh my god.
And
And
he
it
gets
goes in like
40% off
45%.
He has an armored reversal that has 2 hits of armor, not just 1.
That game.
And then number 1 though.
Devil Trigger.
Yeah, I knew that he won. Yo, SVU though.
Yep.
Oh my
SVU.
He reset the bracket on K-Dog and pulled through.
SVU. I
Recently,
bet he was like
recently free agent Double Trigger.
Oh, yeah, he dropped from the clan
Yeah.
Yeah. He's taking a break.
He says he's taking a break
from fighting games.
So from the clan.
From the clan. I mean, I would need to maybe take a break from the clan too every now and again. You know, just it's a very excitable bunch.
Yeah, all the memes. Too many memes.
So that's a
But
lot of
yeah,
games.
the MKX
That's
was
awesome. I bet he was super hype.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
super
yeah.
hype. That grand finals was pretty hype. It was pretty lit.
From what he said, that was actually the first time he beat Growler Bears in tournament.
Nice.
I remember watching so I only got to watch a small section of it, but I remember watching him doing some commentary, and he was like, oh, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna do very well today, you know, and then he goes on to win, and I was like, he's adorable. He's an adorable little kid, you know. It's like
I too
Is
like
he
Alex.
even like, how old is Alex?
you can't ever tell.
you really can't.
You can't ever tell. He could be anywhere between like 18 and 50.
Like, I'm pretty sure he's around your age.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I like Alex though.
I mean, like, I can't. So, like, one of my first experiences with him was whenever he came out to was it KIT?
Was it KIT?
Yeah, I think he came out to KIT.
The most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came out to KIT and he was like, "This is my first time like going out of the state to a tournament." And I'm like, "Oh my god, you get him, buddy."
You can do it.
He came in with like a little rolling suitcase, you know, like he was like just like looking around all starry eyed. Like, it's like my first time to a major out of the tournament, out of state.
It's like, oh, look at him, he's like,
Alright,
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
let's move on to Smash Wii U singles. In 7th place, we have a tie between Jip and Chris.
Hey, Hammond boys.
And
Hey, Hammond boys.
in 5th place, we have Triple D and Sweet D.
Oh, wow.
All the D.
Did they both play
Well,
King DDD?
No, one does.
Only Triple D does. 'Cause-
That makes sense.
D.
Sweet D was a Toon Link main, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of, zoning people out.
Yeah,
That's kind of what you have to do with Toon
The
Link.
Soul was kind of
Yeah,
nice.
He's got great zone.
Yo, he
attacks.
had the B
that
reverse.
bow,
with
that
the-
bow
the
and that bomb is pretty good.
You know, he had like
It's
he
all
like,
about the boomerang, though.
he had like this guy like bomb trick where he took out the bomb, he like threw it forward as he like jumped forward.
Yeah,
to
and
beat them.
he did a fair with it too, and re-grabbed
And then he
the bomb.
re-grabbed the bomb and threw it back to try to trip him up. I was like, yo, this man tricky. I see
Yeah.
you. I see you.
In 4th place, we have DG Hood Life.
Yo, Hood Life. I was a fan of Hood Life. That
That Donkey Kong stock on
DJ,
Samsora
man.
and Winners. Bruh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He was
he got like a
he's like,
5-second
throw?
drill to death.
back air, double jump, down there.
Yeah. Shout out to Hood Life. That man made a tournament hype. Then all
Yeah,
it was.
Samsora got back on the mic. I was like, man, that Donkey Kong had me sweating.
In 3rd place, we have Creatious with his Rosalina.
Hammond boys.
Hammond boys.
Yo, Hammond top 8.
I mean, it was
And
kind of sad
Smash.
though because Gracious got super bopped
Yeah,
by Captain
he
Zack.
got
Yeah, he
super
did.
double jeopardy.
He got bopped by Wii Fit Trainer. Zach didn't
He
even
got-
pick his
he
main.
got
Zach
bopped
just picked
by
Wii
his
Fit
subs
Trainer and
sub.
destroyed this man. He got spiked like so many. He got volleyball spiked by Wii Fit Trainer. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty
It
bad.
was kind of
I
sad.
assume the Wii Fit Trainer's bad.
Yes.
Okay.
He like
Yeah.
two-stocked him multiple times.
And yeah, Captain Zach's really good. He got 2nd place though.
Because
It's a good
Samsora is
set.
also really
He
good.
had a really good grand finals though. He was running it back. He reset the bracket, but just came up a little bit short to Samsora's
North
peak.
Shore Smash, best Smash. Like when I was slightly triggered when Lance was like, "Yeah, I think Baton Rouge has the best Smash scene in the state." Bruh, have you been to the North Shore? Come to the North Shore. Come to the North Shore.
We got what? 3 people on the PR?
Yes. Actually, wait, 4? Well, we have honorable mentions and 3 people.
I mean, we have Brawler G.
We have Brawler G, Craig, and Samsora. And then we have Papa Forky.
Samsora was originally New Orleans though.
He lives in Slidell.
Oh, Slidell?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
So
it was
that's-
originally New Orleans.
No, that's
Okay,
Slidell is North Shore.
Well then North Shore then.
And we got ATG Dad. You're right.
Yeah, and we got ATG Papa
Well,
Forky.
then it's only Captain Zach that's New Orleans then.
Yep.
So, yeah, unfortunately for me, I had 9th place curse for this one.
Oh, rest in peace.
I almost
So, yeah,
made
Steph
it.
also got 9th in Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
I also got 9th in Street Fighter.
So the 9th
Playing
place
Nash?
curse is still
He
real.
played
He's playing
Cammy.
Cammy.
Cammy? Oh, good. Good job.
Yeah, I had a really good match against Sam Sora. I could definitely see why he's rated as high as he is. Like that man he plays a really good neutral.
Yeah.
When you have a character that throws turnips and shit.
Oh, no. That reminds me, my favorite, one of my top 3 favorite stocks in that entire tournament was this Mr. Saturn shield break that Captain Zach got on Samsora. Because for those who don't know,
Mr. Saturn is an item in the game that automatically shield breaks.
Yeah, I knew that. I thought you didn't play with items.
you don't, but
Peach
Peach
is
has a
like-
random number
Peach-
generator on
yeah.
her turnips, and she can pull out a Mr. Saturn.
Or a bomb, or a beam sword. Or a special kind of turnip.
Oh.
And so
She
she
was
ran
one of those
the beginning. The match started, and like her second turnip pull was Mr. Saturn, and so they were just awkwardly like playing the neutral around it, and then Zach managed to grab it and just threw it at Samsora's shield, and it instant broke at 0%. So he just walked into the corner, grabbed Mr. Saturn, tossed it up, fully charged her down smash, which is a heel spike. Mr. Saturn hit him, knocked him off the stage, and he spiked him down and insta killed him.
Wow.
0%, boys.
You should highlight that.
Wow.
That shit is pretty nice.
So I mean that sounds pretty nice. I would feel very nice if I did that. I don't even play Smash.
All right, Street Fighter 5. 7th place, tie between 482's Realistic. Shoutouts to Julius for coming out.
Shout out to Julius for knocking
Realistic.
me out of the tournament.
JDA 777 as well.
A mystery man.
He's a Ryu
Ryu
player
player.
from New Orleans.
Okay, that was the guy I didn't recognize in the picture.
Yeah, it's Ryu. No,
He wasn't
He
in
wasn't
the
in the pictures.
Oh, was he not?
He left as soon as he lost.
Oh, maybe it was Julius I didn't
Yeah, it's
recognize.
probably just
Fair enough.
But yeah, his Ryu is pretty solid actually. Super solid Ryu.
In 5th place, we have RNG Noisy Child with Balrog.
Yeah.
And GOL Nova Spec with Fong.
Nice.
4th place, GOL Crucial B with Laura.
Yeah, okay.
Salt.
Okay. Salt.
Salt.
Soul.
That is hella salty.
In 3rd place,
He lost the melody. so yeah,
DJ
he was.
Melody with Kareen and Guile.
Who did he play in top 8?
Both.
Mostly
Both.
Guile. But he
Mostly
played both.
Guile.
Like he played Karin for like his first 2 matches, and then right when he was about to lose to Axel, he switched to Guile and ran all the way
Ran it
back,
all the way back.
and then just stuck with Guile for the rest of the tournament.
That's fair. I mean, like, you might as well.
I
In
mean, this
second
Karen's
place-
like super out of practice now.
In 2nd place, we have BBW Messiah with the Buki.
He was upset with a 2nd place standing in Street Fighter
He
5.
was very
Yes.
upset.
I mean, he had a really
Yeah,
good winners finals.
He
against
made it
Vu.
in winners and beat Vu in winners, and then Vu reset the bracket on
Down
6-0.
It was like 6-0, huh?
We got 6-0?
He got 6-0
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
grand
that's
finals.
the worst feeling.
And see, the entire time the Rashid team was playing, and I was like, just change the stage.
No,
he didn't get
No,
6-0.
no, no. Vu went to the options to make it where the Rashid team would
Wasn't
like.
6-0.
It was a
Yeah,
2-2 in
It was last
final.
Oh, yeah, no,
final
yeah, right
set
now.
two.
It
Oh,
was
okay.
Oh,
It
was
was 3-0 reset, and then
It was 2-2.
Rasan did
Yeah.
get 2-2.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was 6-2.
Okay. That's
But
better.
he went
That's
to the
better.
options.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
In
I was standing.
Ramasama's
I was
God.
standing- I was standing in the crowd, and I was like, is he going to the options to change the music?
Always pick Rashid's team.
Yeah, and in 1st place,
Yeah,
we have
that's
GOL Ramasama
that
with
sucks, though.
Rashid.
Yo, huge shout outs to Idolus, whom I 6-0'd that one time he made it to winners in Cove.
Oh, really?
You remember that? Oh
No.
my god.
I mean, I'm sure he was salty.
Yeah, that was a tournament. All right, just really quick segue. That was a tournament where Idolus beat both me and Trumpet to make it into winner side grand finals, and we were and he was popping off like super hard, and I was like, and Jelly was just like, don't pop off till you win, don't pop off till you win, and he was like, it doesn't matter if I win or not, you know, like I beat Trumpet. And I beat Van, you know, it doesn't matter anymore. And then I make it to grand finals and I 6-0 him.
Dang.
Wow.
Don't pop
Feels
off till you
bad,
win.
man.
Don't pop off till you win.
All right. Well, moving
Shout outs to
on.
Idolus.
We've got Anime Ascension results. I'm only gonna do Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue.
Okay.
Start
Oh,
with
shout outs to Ramasama for winning Street Fighter. I know we just brushed through that, but yeah.
Congratulations, you did it.
You go, guy. SVU.
All right. So for Blaze Blue, Central Fiction,
You put the
Anime
view in
Ascension,
SVU.
we've got in 7th place we got LPT with Rachel and
Ah,
Nano
okay.
with Izanami.
Okay. Sounds accurate.
Where did this tournament happen?
SoCal.
SoCal, okay. Anime Ascension.
Yeah, they ascended.
In 5th place we have Jonah with Valkenhayn and Mai,
Mm-hmm.
and DS Move with Celica.
Okay. Accurate.
In 4th place, Kizzy K with Jin.
Okay.
3rd place, Beta Dude with Ragnar.
Beta dude.
Beta.
Beta's not dope.
I never heard of this guy
He
until,
is
until this weekend.
Texas Glenn.
He's Texas
Texas
Glenn.
Glenn.
Oh, okay.
My
'Cause
God.
I had never heard of Beta Dude until this weekend.
You know, he's Texas Glenn.
Yeah, he's Texas Glenn. Like, they're literally the same kid.
Yeah, like he drove out to SoCal to make 5th place.
He's
He
Texas
took a plane to SoCal
to take 3rd place.
to take third
Oh
place.
shit.
2nd place.
Glenn, where you at?
He was clearly
He was
at
in Nola
SoCal.
Hey, man, I was at
Nah,
SoCal.
he did the Shadow Clone Jutsu and sent, you know, his
Jutsu.
other half to
To
go
Nola
win,
Game Fest.
to go win Anime Ascension,
Yeah.
and then this half here,
When's Kayla?
yeah.
In 2nd place was SKD with Izuyoi.
SKD. That's pretty good.
And
Very
1st
good.
place was Breaker Dave with Arakune.
Arakune.
Breaker Dave. I had only heard that name from Under Night. It's the
He
only-
was also really good at Under Night
Yeah, it's
and Persona.
the only time I had ever heard of Breaker Dave was from Under Night.
Well, now you've heard of him for Blaze Blue, but we don't talk to Arcadia players.
Alright, Guilty Gear Xrd
It's like talking to
Revelator.
Arakune himself.
7th place was Toki with Axel, and GC Yoshi with Bedman.
Oh yeah, I like watching GC Yoshi.
5th place
Axel
was
twice.
5th place was Fadoogly with Slayer, and Fu with Kun.
Okay.
Cool player. Hey.
4th place, Kizzy K with Sin.
Yo, Fortune 2 anime game?
Yeah, he's anime Mike Ross.
Wait, what?
Anime Mike
Kizzy
Ross.
K got Fortune Blaze Blue too.
Oh, did he? Oh, I
Mhm.
didn't hear that. Okay.
3rd was Bjorn Son of Bear with Chip.
Daijo.
2nd place
Kizzy K,
was
that's the
Kid
premium
Viper with
text.
Johnny.
I'm triggered.
What a scrub.
He lost to 1st place Damindo with Slayer.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Slayer.
Slayer beat
Two
Johnny.
Slayers in that
How does
top
that make
8.
you feel?
They nerfed this button so he get counter hit now.
Who does Kizzy K play in Blaze Blue?
Jin.
Plays Jin.
He plays Sin and Jin
Sin and Jin.
Sen
Very simple.
and Kai, but he hasn't played Kai in quite some time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sen and Jin.
Alright.
I will mention that Reynold won KOF. Good stuff to Reynold. Sad
Wait,
he
the
couldn't,
kids- the
sad
kids-
he couldn't make it to the.
Did Kizzy K get Fortune KOF as well?
Let's see. Let me go back.
Because that would be interesting.
Let me see. 4th place. No, it was El Rosa.
Okay.
Who made second in KOF?
Yoshi.
Just Yoshi?
Yeah.
Y05H1.
Alright.
He's
TC Yoshi.
He's a West Coast player, I think.
Okay. Alright.
Well, not super
3rd place was Mr. KOF.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, those are big names.
Yeah,
Mr.
those are
KOF
big
and
It
Reynold.
sucks that Randall couldn't make it to KOF Worlds.
The
or whatever.
KOF
Maybe-
World.
But Mr. Randall, if you listen to this, you should come to Slam.
Sure.
Come to Slam.
And last but not least, we have Winter Brawl. We're gonna do Marvel Top 8. 7th place was Solo Sewell with Dormammu, Strange, Dante.
Hey, it's like with Van Zant, some guy you never heard of.
Yeah.
I like
cool.
that team though.
And
That team's
DC,
cool.
DCP Boog with Wolverine, Doom, Virgil.
I've heard of Boog like
I've
once.
never-
I've never heard of it.
Literally,
place,
who?
5th place was Unknown, Wesker Sentinel,
Okay, I know
Viper.
that guy.
Okay.
He's not unknown.
And Chris G
I wish he was in there.
with Morgan, Doom, Virgil.
Man, Chris, you made 5th?
Yes, he
His
did.
insight.
Thank you. 4th place was Flux, Zero May
Yeah.
Cry.
Washed up.
Ah,
Washed up.
excuse me. 3rd place was Ambu Punisher with Modok, Hawkeye,
Yeah.
Rocket,
Punisher! Yes!
I like
yeah,
and
that.
Modok,
okay.
Rocket, Strider.
Yeah, I like Punisher.
like
2nd
Punisher.
place, PG Coach Steve.
Coach
Nova
Steve. I also
Spencer
like Coach
You
Steve.
mean the Pokken player?
Yeah, the Pokken player. And 1st place, PG Ray Ray.
Hey,
Magneto,
Ray Ray
Doom,
won
Sentinel.
something.
PG top 2. Alright.
Excuse me, I'm sneezing all over the place. Cat's getting to me. Street Fighter 5. 7th place, Dominion Guile. And TGS Gimpy.
I thought he
with
wasn't
Cammy.
gonna play Guile.
No.
He finally decided that Guile was good enough for him to play.
Alright, fair enough.
5th place was Automatic with Urian and Royal Mist with Urian.
Wow.
4th
They're
place
like 4
was
Urians.
4th place was EG Chris G with Guile, Urian, and Ibuki. Played
DLC
3 characters. 3rd place was Mike and Ike 12 with Laura and Urian.
Oh my god. They're everywhere.
Welcome to America.
2nd place was Smug with Balrog.
Okay, no, you're in this.
And 1st place was A4 Punk with Kareen, Nakali, and Nash.
Yeah, I heard Punk was like playing out of his mind.
I mean, Punk's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat X was also really big,
course
but
not.
we all know who won that one. Echo Fox's own Sonic Fox with Triborg Sector.
Smug keeps getting bridesmaided at these events.
Sector's pretty good.
Hey,
Sonic
Jerry,
Fox
Flux,
is really
Flux
good.
took second in Blaze Blue over there.
I mean, no one was there.
Who won Blaze
I mean,
Blue then?
it was
why
Como,
are you doing
AM
that?
Como with 9 the Phantom.
Why are you stepping on that?
I mean, Lord, I got third with
Can
Bukoda.
you, like,
Exactly.
Greatest within a moat, right?
yeah.
But yeah, that
Destroying my
was
stuff.
the stadium for you. A bunch of really good tournaments happened over the weekend, so
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
glad I was able to report all of that. And now we're coming up with the last segment of the show, the struggle. Anybody got any struggles this time around?
No comment.
No comment.
Alright. Fair enough, y'all.
No.
What about you two? Got anything to say?
I want new stream equipment because being a streamer is a never-ending struggle it's not worth it.
Yeah, you canceled your pre-order for your Switch for that, right?
Yep.
Switch is coming out in like I think one more week.
Don't become a streamer. If you wanna go esports, be a player or a commentator. Much easier.
Alrighty
But
then.
you Master Steph.
Steph, what you got?
That's your Steve.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, we already know his life's an eternal struggle.
Dang, dude.
I mean, it's hard when you don't make any money. You know?
It's a struggle, and he's just living in it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm working on clawing my way out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not let this man speak for himself?
Okay, fine.
My life's an eternal struggle. I am working on being a
Man.
Hollywood commentator, though. Hey, I was on a poll for Pokken commentators, apparently.
Nice.
Very nice.
They were like, yeah, vote for your favorite commentator in Pokken. And Master Self was there with
Master
votes.
Steve.
I don't know who voted for me, but I have votes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
apparently I'm somebody somewhere.
I mean, I guess like personal life stuff aside, as far as the fighting game community is concerned, I guess I'm working on trying to level up my gameplay best I can. I am struggling with Alex a little bit right now, but I feel like until I maximize my potential with the character, you know. So rather than I don't want to drop the character until I feel like the character is truly a limiting factor, I guess. I think that there are aspects of my gameplay that I can improve first before I get to the point in which I think that Alex has nothing left to offer me. And I guess in the capacity in which I want to try to get better at Street Fighter V, just in general as a player, I don't mind going through that struggle playing Alex. I feel like even if I switch to a better player, like it might be easier for me to get wins or whatever, but I would still want to improve as a whole in my decision making and that sort of thing. I think I could do that with any character. So until I really feel like Alex is limiting me from success and not just me limiting myself from success, then I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with the character until I get to that point. Other things, I want to start streaming more, and I want to release a little more content. I have some videos that I've been working on that hopefully I'll be able to get out to you guys soon. So check out our webpage for that, level42gaming.com. I'll be posting it up there.
Or our Patreon.
Or Patreon. Okay, so you can check out our exclusive Level 42 content.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So that's mostly what I'm going to be working on in the near future, as well as opening my own game store.
Hey.
Yeah.
So that I can harbor the fugitives that is the LAFGC and all of their minors that can't get into bars.
Oh man,
Yep.
Shout outs to Doza.
Hey, we appreciate you.
The Doza.
So that is my struggle.
Barazame.
Oh man.
Alright.
My struggle is I'm trying to not be a bitter old man anymore. I keep getting called out for this, but like
Bitter old
it's
man.
just whatever the case is, like I'm just not a big fan of a lot of these newer fighting games. And it's only fighting games. I'm excited when like a brand new game for other genres come
It comes
out.
with age.
It's like,
man.
yo, Breath of the Wild's
Oh,
coming
man.
out in a week. I'm super excited for that game.
Instead of OG-san, we can call him OG-Von.
Oh, Giovanni.
I'm just gonna change my name to 482 Old Timer.
42 OG-Von.
Yeah.
But, like I don't know, it's whatever it is. I grew up with all these like older fighting games that I grew to love them like so much that like I see a lot of these older fighting games that don't borrow from what made all these older games so good. It triggers me.
Unfortunately, developers aren't trying to cater to us anymore. We're
Yeah.
we're more or less guaranteed, and at the same time, like that style of gaming just isn't conducive to good business practice any longer.
Yeah, that's the sad truth, I guess.
So we gotta adapt and try to find fun in whatever we can, and I guess that's that. I mean, I've always enjoyed the more mental and spiritual aspect of fighting games as opposed to the executional or the physical. I mean, I appreciate that aspect of it too, and a lot of people, I guess, think that I have pretty decent execution. And I enjoyed practicing and learning combos in Marvel and doing higher execution stuff. I just never thought that it was necessary.
Yeah.
Even if it was there, so.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the mind game aspect of fighting games as well. That's what really drew me in. Because whenever I was first getting into fighting games, I was compared it to like chess, because I like chess a lot. And I was like, fast-paced chess, which really isn't. It's not the most accurate example, but it is.
Yeah,
it's
like fast-paced chess with an
execution barrier.
Executional element to it. That you have to think fast and make decisions in a split second.
Whenever I was a kid, I was a firm believer that in Street Fighter 4, you could beat someone without a single combo as long as you just made all the right moves.
That is true.
I mean, but
it's much harder.
These are
facts. But yes.
I guess I viewed like fighting games more as kind of like a sport thing, where it's like if you could pull off like all of like the executional like stuff, like you do in like actual sports, then you like deserve like the points that you got.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
always like the physical aspect of like fighting games, but I also like the mind games as well because I always go for like stupid shit, like run up DP on people's wake up.
I mean, I think that that's true. Okay, but like, I think that you're seeing it from a skewed perspective because you've already done the execution stuff. Does that make sense? So like, from the perspective of somebody who's never played fighting games before, there's still a very real executional barrier to getting into the games.
I mean, there's also an executional barrier with physical sports, though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's there even if you don't perceive it anymore because you've already gotten past it. So to you, there is no executional barrier to playing Street Fighter V or something like that, right? Because you've already done all the work you need to
get to that point.
To get to that point. Whereas, like, I have some friends who are trying to play Street Fighter V. They're still having trouble doing quarter circles and shoryukens. And that's just, and you're right, as an element of sports, that is just something that you have to practice and do and get good at.
But it's all perspective.
And it's and the barrier's still there. And, like, being able to perform these graceful and minute actions under pressure is also something that's very hard and very difficult for new players to get. I mean, I feel like Jake is still trying to get over that. Like, whenever he gets into a high-pressure situation, his hands lock up and he doesn't execute as well anymore. And that's something that we've all gotten over at this point to some extent. I mean, even I, like, whenever I play in majors and stuff and I'm in pools, if I get nervous, then I'll start dropping stuff too, right? But, like, we've all gotten over that to some degree, but it's still trouble for even players who've been playing for a year and a half to a couple of years now, like Jake and a couple of others. So,
like, newer fighting games might seem dumbed down and not as executionally heavy for us newer players, but for us older players, but for newer players, it's just as hard as KO after a team was for all of us. I mean, I seem that way because you've lived through KO after a team. Like, man,
that was hard.
I can now do cool. I mean, freaking Yuri butt loops in my sleep because I've practiced them so hard.
That's why it's fun to make the like we're the old men parallels because we're just like, oh, you young whippersnappers don't know how good you have it. Back in my day, I had to do half circle back, quarter circle forward, down like 3, 5, 2, 8 comp. Like I have to do all green, it's like, what kind of inputs is this?
I mean, my hands are still kind of suffering from playing Melee all those years.
Exactly, but for newer players, that still exists. So the little executional thing that makes the game, and that made older games interesting for you, it still makes it interesting for newer players because they still have to go through it.
Yeah,
right.
They still have to go through
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping the system of MVCI would be interesting enough to keep me interested in it, at least at a casual level. Because I mostly like playing games for fun.
Yeah.
And I just, a lot of the time, I just don't feel interested enough in a lot of the newer games because I don't find them fun enough, I guess. Because the system itself just doesn't appeal to me, I guess.
If we're going to speak historically, Capcom has always made Marvel their kind of like ridiculous, off the wall, harder to play fighter, whereas Street Fighter was always their flagship, simple, easy to understand, everybody get into it fighter. So if they continue with that model, then MVCI will very much be like here's a bunch of crazy different possibilities. We're not even going to care about balancing the game that much, you know, like it's just going to be kind of crazy, ridiculous, and we want you guys to have fun. And that's what I'm hoping too. I don't want it to be something regimented and just as like a Street Fighter Cross Tekken clone or something like that, you know, like I want it to be ridiculous and fun like a Marvel title should be. But whatever it is, whatever form that baby comes in, I'm going to love it still.
Oh my god.
My baby is the baby of the Marvel community.
I think that's a good enough note to sign off
with
this
that-
podcast.
Wait, Dozy didn't say what he was struggling about.
No comment.
He said no comments.
All
So anyway, thank you all for tuning in to Frame Advantage for this episode. It was kind of a long one, so I very much appreciate you guys like coming out and like doing this with me like every like couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like it's super fun to like engage in like discussion about like how deep fighting games are. Like on a personal level and like on a gamer level, you know.
Seems like it's longer when I'm involved. I'll try to keep it short.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So
You
alright,
guys enjoy special guest Van.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me. Because the ones without me are shorter as well.
No, the one that I did, which it was just me, Vaughn, and Doza, was like an hour and a half to 2 hours by ourselves.
You guys do tend to like talk a lot, but I mean that's
but,
good.
But
Like
me and Van always have so much to
That's right.
Yeah,
share.
exactly.
Just trying to drop knowledge
Well, I
on
mean,
you guys.
you also personally segue a lot.
I know.
You segue
It
to
keeps
like a
it
lot of
interesting.
random off topics a lot.
I don't do it often. It just happens sometimes.
But yeah, if you want to follow us on our social media, especially on
You
Twitter,
segue
you
a
can
lot.
you can follow me at the White Mage.
What?
Mhm.
I can do that.
Oh, you can follow me at 482_Doza.
It's not the Doza anymore.
No.
Got a new Twitter.
Mine
No
is
comment.
Seiken_482.
Mine is just at Master Stuff. MASTASTEF. Also follow LVL482.
LVL 42.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And once again, don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon, where you can get early access to the newest episodes of Frame
Exclusive.
Advantage.
Exclusive
And
content.
exclusive Patreon-only content.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can get that day early of all of our uploads and stuff.
Yeah. And 42 Van here, you can follow me at Twitter at VanMvo. M as in Mary.
You can keep up with Frame Advantage at Libsyn and also on iTunes. Check out our website, level42gaming.com. Check out our Twitch channel, also at level482 gaming. We have 2 YouTube channels. Check out level 482 gaming and level 482 productions. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Also, be sure to keep an eye out on our upcoming event, the South Louisiana Major 2017. We're going to be running literally everything.
Slam.
Including the newly added Brawlhalla.
That's right, yeah.
A AA qualifier event.
That's right.
$250 pot bonus with a free-to-enter tournament.
That's right. Come on out, play some Brawlhalla.
Be sure to get that pre-reg on.
Oh yes, please pre-register.
Smash.gg/slams2017.
Right.
Say it like that.
And with that, this has been another episode of Level 42's Frame Advantage.
Frame
And we'll see you
Advantage.
guys next time.
Where we're always plus on him.